Chapter 33. Following the curly-bearded man's words, the voice of the person who had spoken came from within the carriage once more. "Get them out of the way, or die!" "Yes, second young master." The curly-bearded man acknowledged respectfully as he looked at Zhou Donghuang and Fu again, a murderous glint in his eyes. "Did you hear what my second young master said? If you don't get out of the way, I'll kill you. Kill us." Zhou Donghuang's deep gaze fell on the carriage opposite him, and he smiled faintly. "Such arrogance! I wonder, who are you?" "My second young master is the son of the patriarch of the preeminent Li family of the prefecture capital, Li Pingyun. Now, in the carriage behind me, there is not only the second young master of the Li family, but also the 9th elder of the Li family." The curly-bearded man laughed coldly. "Lad, you'd better get out of the way quickly. If you anger second young master and 9th elder, you'll die without a doubt." Fu's eyes narrowed slightly. The Li family of the prefecture capital? The figure of a middle-aged man immediately appeared in Fu's mind. The level 2 adept who claimed to be from the Li family of the prefecture capital had been crippled by his young master, and it was his young master who had ordered him to find someone to send him back to the Li family of the prefecture capital. Second young master of the Li family? Zhou Donghuang's eyes flashed coldly as he looked at the carriage opposite him and said indifferently, "That means, that day, the person who sent someone to Yunxian restaurant and offered to spend 1,000 liang of silver to buy my Yunxian restaurant was you." That day, the level 2 adept from the Li family of the prefecture capital had claimed to have been sent by the second young master of the Li family. "You are Zhou Donghuang?" Almost as soon as Zhou Donghuang finished speaking, the curtains of the opposite carriage were drawn open, and a young man dressed in embroidered robes and a middle-aged man dressed in fine robes stepped out of the carriage one after another and alighted. The person who spoke was the young man, the second young master of the preeminent Li family of the prefecture capital, Li Pingyun. "It is indeed you." Zhou Donghuang also alighted from the carriage and stood facing Li Pingyun. "I never thought that I, Li Pingyun, would meet you before I even reached Qinshan town, but this is good too, it saves me a lot of time." Li Pingyun swept an indifferent gaze over Zhou Donghuang. "Zhou Donghuang, if you hand over the title deed to Yunxian restaurant now and then cripple one of your arms, I will not pursue the matter of you injuring Li Dong. Before you beat a dog, you need to look at its master." He had sent Li Dong to Qinshan town to find Zhou Donghuang to buy Yunxian restaurant, but Zhou Donghuang had crippled Li Dong, which was a slap to his face. "Cripple my own arm?" Zhou Donghuang was taken aback at first, and then he smiled brilliantly. "The second young master of the Li family is indeed formidable. With just a few words, he not only wants to seize my Yunxian restaurant, but also wants me to break an arm. Since that's the case, if I don't cripple your arm today, I'll be letting down your efforts." As he spoke, a cold light flashed in the depths of Zhou Donghuang's eyes. "You want me to cripple my own arm? Are you still dreaming?" Li Pingyun was taken aback at first, but then he smiled coldly, and his eyes flashed with murderous intent. "Now, I've changed my mind today. I don't just want the title deed to Yunxian restaurant, I want your life." After Li Pingyun's murderous intent toward Zhou Donghuang had been aroused, he said to the well-dressed man beside him, "9th elder, kill him." "Second young master, you're too cautious." The finely dressed, middle-aged man grinned. "You can deal with this brat with a wave of your hand. Don't tell me you really believe Li Dong's words and think that this youth is a level 3 adept?" "I don't think that's possible," Li Pingyun said. Li Pingyun said, "But he should have a rather powerful level 2 adept protecting him. 9th elder, let's do as we agreed. After this is done, I'll give you 10% of the profits of Yunxian restaurant." From Li Pingyun's words, it was obvious that he already considered Yunxian restaurant to be his. "Thank you, second young master." The smile on the well-dressed man's face grew brighter as he looked at Zhou Donghuang and said indifferently, "Lad, call out the person in the carriage." As he spoke, He looked at the carriage behind Zhou Donghuang. As for Fu, who was driving the carriage, he looked panic-stricken and did not look like one of Zhou Donghuang's adepts. Carriage? Zhou Donghuang was taken aback by the well-dressed man's words, and then he realized that the man thought that there was someone else in the carriage. Second young master of the Li family, it looks like you think that the person you sent earlier was crippled by someone close to me? Zhou Donghuang walked slowly towards Li Pingyun, who was 6 or 7 meters away, a strange smile on his face. Isn't that the case? Li Pingyun sneered. Are you trying to tell me that a 16 or 17-year-old youth like you has the ability to kill Li Dong, a level 2 adept? Lad, since he dares not come out, then I, Li Yan, will take your life first before looking for him. The well-dressed man, who was the 9th elder of the Li family, Li Yan, withdrew his gaze from the carriage and looked at Zhou Donghuang. He grinned cruelly and rushed towards Zhou Donghuang. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. As Li Yan rushed out, his body swayed and the sound of the wind could be heard. His speed was faster than anyone Zhou Donghuang had met since his rebirth. A level 3 adept of Qi gathering? Zhou Donghuang raised an eyebrow, and then he used the 3rd-grade swiftness technique, star-stepping footwork, to meet Li Yan head-on. Even though he was only using the maximum muscle strength of his legs, and his Qi had not yet reached level 2 of Qi gathering, Zhou Donghuang's speed when he used the star-stepping footwork was no slower than Li Yan's. What incredible speed! In the distance, Li Pingyun's expression turned serious as he saw Zhou Donghuang's strange footwork, his speed no slower than Li Yan's. It looks like he really could have crippled Li Dong himself. Moreover, he is using a swiftness technique? Li Pingyun looked at Zhou Donghuang with greed in his eyes, and he warned Li Yan loudly, 9th elder, don't kill him. Make him hand over his swiftness technique. Actually, even if Li Pingyun had not warned him, Li Yan had already had this thought when he saw Zhou Donghuang use his swiftness technique. Although he was surprised by Zhou Donghuang's speed, he did not think that Zhou Donghuang was a match for him. A person who could only match his speed by using a swiftness technique could not possibly be a match for him in terms of actual ability. Swiftness technique. Even though I am now an elder of the Li family and can practice the Li family's martial arts techniques, the Li family only has one offensive technique and no swiftness technique. Li Yan's eyes shone as he looked at Zhou Donghuang, and as he neared him, his hands shot out like lightning, ready to capture Zhou Donghuang. Just then, Zhou Donghuang's legs shook the ground, and he used all the muscle strength in his body to charge at Li Yan. Whoosh, whoosh. Zhou Donghuang's hands, imbued with qi, formed into claws and shot out like lightning, directly grabbing Li Yan's wrists that were reaching for him. With all the muscle strength in his body, coupled with the qi that was close to level 2 of qi gathering, Zhou Donghuang's strength now exceeded that of a level 3 adept like Li Yan. Piercing Stone Finger. When the 3rd-grade finger technique, Piercing Stone Finger, was used by Zhou Donghuang, the sound of bones cracking could be heard. Zhou Donghuang's 10 fingers had violently crushed Li Yan's wrist. The intense, piercing pain caused cold sweat to break out on Li Yan's forehead, and he could not help but let out a shrill scream. Just as Li Yan hurriedly retracted his wrists, Zhou Donghuang's strange footwork appeared again, and he struck out with his right hand towards Li Yan's chest. Weighted Sand Palm. When Zhou Donghuang used the 3rd-grade palm technique, there was a faint, sand-like ripple on the surface of his palm, and the moment it landed on Li Yan's chest, his entire palm was forced in. Bang! A loud sound rang out, and Li Yan's scream stopped abruptly. His entire body flew backwards and landed right at Li Pingyun's feet, kicking up a cloud of sand and dust. Even with the robe covering his body, Li Yan's sunken chest was still clearly visible to Li Pingyun. Ninth Elder. Li Pingyun looked at the lifeless Li Yan lying on the ground, and his eyes narrowed. His face was full of shock and disbelief. How is this possible? How is this possible? A 16 or 17-year-old youth from a small town had killed the ninth elder of the Li family, a level 3 adept, Li Yan, right in front of him. Could there be anything more ridiculous than this? I had only intended for you to cripple one of your arms. At this time, Zhou Donghuang was already walking slowly towards Li Pingyun, and every step he took was like a huge rock smashing into Li Pingyun's chest. Li Pingyun's breathing quickened, and his expression changed again. But, since you've changed your mind to take my life, it doesn't seem right if I don't take yours. Zhou Donghuang came before Li Pingyun and grinned, revealing 2 rows of snow-white teeth. Second young master of the Li family, what do you think? Zhou Donghuang, I am the second young master of the Li family, the only son of the patriarch of the Li family of the prefecture capital, and the future patriarch of the Li family. My eldest sister, who dotes on me the most, is the favorite concubine of the young governor of the intermediate prefecture capital, Guangling Prefecture. If you dare kill me, the Li family will not let you off, and neither will the governor's household of Guangling Prefecture. In the face of death, Li Pingyun revealed all his trump cards, hoping to frighten Zhou Donghuang so that he would not dare to kill him. You'd better not make a mistake, Li Pingyun said in a low voice. In my life, the thing I, Zhou Donghuang, fear the least is threats. Zhou Donghuang smiled faintly, and with a flicker of his body, he leapt forward and struck out with his palm. Before Li Pingyun could react, he had killed Li Pingyun with a single blow. Then, Zhou Donghuang's gaze instinctively swept towards the curly-bearded man driving the carriage. Sir, spare me! Spare me! When Li Yan had been killed by Zhou Donghuang, the curly-bearded man had been scared out of his wits, and now that Zhou Donghuang was looking at him, he hurriedly rolled off the carriage and knelt down to beg for mercy. Chapter 34. Young master, you should have killed that person, Fu said to Zhou Donghuang, who had just entered the carriage, as they continued on their journey. You were worried that if I left him alive, the Li family of the prefecture capital would know that I killed Li Pingyun and Li Yan? Zhou Donghuang, who had been preparing to start practicing, shook his head and smiled when he heard Fu's words. Yes, Fu replied, his tone full of fear. Young master, the Li family of the prefecture capital is a preeminent family. It is said that they have 2 level 4 adepts. Fu's tone became more serious as he spoke. Fu, Zhou Donghuang said calmly, remember, if I were afraid of the Li family, I would not have maimed that Li family member in Yunxian restaurant. Today I would not have killed Li Pingyun and Li Yan. Li family? Preeminent family? So what? If they really angered him, he did not mind making the entire Li family disappear from this world. When the emperor is angry, millions of corpses lie. This was a saying that spread throughout the entire country. And in the vast universe there was a similar saying. When the emperor is angry, millions of corpses lie. Zhou Donghuang had been a celestial in his previous life. Furthermore, he had been a celestial at the pinnacle of the deity's tribulation stage. The journey over the next few days was smooth sailing. He rested as he traveled. 4 days later, on the 7th day of the first month of the year 1228 of the Ziyun era, as night fell, the carriage pulled by the Fergana horses and driven by Fu entered the prefecture city unhurriedly. The prefecture capital that controlled the surrounding area, including Qingshan town, was called Yunfeng Prefecture, and Yunfeng Prefecture was an inferior prefecture capital. In the country of Yunyang, there was only one imperial city, which was directly controlled by the imperial court, and it was also the largest city in the country of Yunyang. The imperial court controlled the entire country of Yunyang, and the vast territory of the country of Yunyang was divided into 9 royal ridges. The 9 royal ridges surrounded the imperial city like stars surrounding the moon. Each royal ridge was controlled by a royal household. Within the king's ridge that was controlled by the king's mansion, there were many county cities scattered all over the place. They were also like stars surrounding the king's city. Royal City was a city directly controlled by the Wang Mansion. In addition, the prefectural cities were further divided into upper, middle, and lower grade. The counties closest to Royal City were all high-class counties, while the ones further away were mid-class counties. The counties located at the edge of King's Ridge were basically all low-class counties. The closer one was to the center of the King's Ridge, the more prosperous it was. Therefore, a low-class county city was not as prosperous as a mid-class county city, and a mid-class county city was not as prosperous as a high-class county city. Yunfeng Prefecture, which controlled Qingshan Town and the surrounding area, was only an inferior prefecture city. It was located at the edge of one of the King's Ridges in the country of Yunyang and was extremely remote. In his previous life, ever since Zhou Donghuang could remember, the furthest place he had been to was around Qingshan Town. He had never even been to this inferior prefecture city, Yunfeng Prefecture. This was also his first time in Yunfeng Prefecture. If even a low-tier county city is so prosperous, then the mid-tier county city, high-tier county city, royal city, and imperial city must be even more prosperous. Although night had fallen, Zhou Donghuang could still see the endless stream of people and carriages through the open curtains of the carriage, and the clamor of hawkers all around made it livelier than Qingshan Town. Fu, find an inn to stay in tonight. Zhou Donghuang instructed Fu. Yes, young master. As Fu responded, Zhou Donghuang, who was sitting in the carriage, muttered to himself, Now, my level of practice is just a step away from level 2 of Qi gathering. Tonight, I'll make a breakthrough. That night, in the early hours of the next morning, Zhou Donghuang successfully broke through to level 2 of Qi gathering in the inn that Fu had found. Breaking through to level 2 of Qi gathering meant that he could use his Qi to exert the strength of 2 bulls. Now, if I meet the 9th elder of the Li family, Li Yan, even without using any martial arts, I can kill him with one blow. Zhou Donghuang's eyes flashed, and he did not continue practicing. He leaned against the window, opened it, and stared at the stars in the night sky in a daze. About 15 minutes later, Zhou Donghuang recovered and sighed. Unknowingly, it has been almost a month since I was reborn. The day Zhou Donghuang was reborn was the 12th of December, 1227 of the Ziyun era. And now, it was already the 8th of January, 1228 of the Ziyun era. Now, that Chen Dandan should be in the mansion of the preeminent Hong family of Yunfeng Prefecture, right? Thinking of that ungrateful and shameless girl, even with the 1,000 years of memories from his previous life, Zhou Donghuang could not help but flash a cold light in his eyes. That day in the hall of the Magnolia Guild, he had wanted to kill Chen Dandan in a fit of rage to avenge his mother, Lin Lan. But he had been stopped by his mother. Later, he had felt lucky that he had not killed Chen Dandan in a fit of rage. Sometimes, death was a form of release for a person. He wanted to slowly toy with Chen Dandan and let her live the rest of her life in endless pain and regret. That was the only way to quell the hatred in his heart. The 4th elder of the Lin family, Lin Tonghong, embezzled the formula for the blood-staunching elixir that I gave to my mother. Now that I'm here in the prefecture capital, I have to make a trip to the Lin family mansion. Zhou Donghuang's eyes flashed coldly again. And those 3 lesser families, if I don't settle their matter, Yunxian restaurant will not be able to open. Looking at the time, by now, those 3 spoiled brats should have returned to their families, right? That night, for the 3 preeminent lesser families of Yunfeng Prefecture, the Lu, Ma, and Fong families, it was another sleepless night. That afternoon, as the 3 carriages arrived at the main gates of the Lu, Ma, and Fong families, the 3 families were shocked when they alighted from the carriages. The first young master of the Lu family, Lu Yuan, the first young master of the Ma family, Ma Jin, and the 3rd young master of the Fong family, Fong Tianyi, had been fine when they left their families not long ago, but now that they had returned, they had lost a leg. For martial Dao adepts, the loss of an arm would have a significant impact. Losing a leg meant that one would be crippled for life. Because the chiefs of the 3 lesser families had ordered a lockdown on the news, No one knew about it except for the members of the three lesser families. The Lu family mansion. In the drawing room, three middle-aged men stood together, their expressions ugly. These three men were the chiefs of the three preeminent lesser families of Yunfeng Prefecture, the Lu, Ma, and Fang families. It was precisely because of the matter of their sons being crippled that they had gathered here. Brother Qinghu, Brother Tianba, what do you think of this matter? The chief of the Fang family, Fang Jishan, was a burly middle-aged man with a dignified air about him. His voice was like thunder, reverberating in the drawing room. How could a 16-year-old youth really have the ability to kill Lu Gang? The chief of the Ma family, Ma Tianba, was short and well-built. His eyes were bright and piercing, but his voice was a little shrill. Hearing his voice and looking at him, he gave off a strange feeling. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it, but this matter was told by all three of our sons, so it should be true. The chief of the Lu family, Lu Qinghu, was as thin as a bamboo pole. Just by looking at him, no one would be able to tell that he was the strongest of the three present. Brother Qinghu, our three families have always been on the same side. What do you think we should do about this? Fang Jishan asked. What else can we do? Of course we should send a strong one, or one of us, to Qingshan town and kill Zhou Dongwang and his family to avenge our three children. Ma Tianba said coldly. Revenge must be taken, but that Zhou Dongwang is a little strange. How could a martial invalid of Qingshan town suddenly be able to kill a level 2 adept so easily? Lu Qinghu's eyes flashed with wisdom. I have a feeling that he has some secret. So, I suggest, we slow down for a while and investigate him properly. Lu Qinghu said. It is indeed strange. Fang Jishan nodded. Good. Then we'll investigate him first. If we can't find anything, we'll head to Qingshan town and kill him and everyone around him. Ma Tianba said hatefully. Although he had a few sons, his eldest was the most talented one. He was only 23 years old, but he was already on the verge of attaining level 2 of Qi gathering. But now one of his legs had been crippled, and he was destined to have little success in his life. Chapter 35. Early in the morning, after eating the breakfast that Fu had brought, Zhou Dongwang left the inn with Fu and walked past a few streets and alleys before entering a luxurious armory. Young master, are you here to buy a weapon? As soon as they entered the armory, a young lady who was in charge of sales came up to them and asked enthusiastically. Zhou Dongwang was dressed in a white silk robe, and his youthful features made him look extraordinarily handsome. Coupled with the maturity in his eyes that did not match his age, and the refined aura that he exuded, any ordinary person could tell that he was not from an ordinary background at a glance. To be able to work as a sales assistant in any of the major shops in Yunfeng Prefecture, one could tell at a glance that a customer's spending power was extraordinary. Zhou Dongwang nodded lightly and went straight to the point. I would like to buy a spear, the heavier the better. Can you tell me about it? As Zhou Dongwang spoke, his gaze had already landed on a corner of the armory, where there was a rack filled with spears. The spear was the king of all weapons, and it was also a type of heavy weapon. Of course, Zhou Dongwang wanted to buy a spear not because he was good with it, but because his current level of practice was too low, and heavy weapons were the most suitable weapon for him at this stage. In his previous life, he had been the Dongwang war god who stood at the top of the universe. He was good with almost all kinds of weapons, and heavy weapons were just one of them. However, among all the heavy weapons, his favorite was still the spear. The reason why he liked the spear the most was partly due to the influence of some historical figures on Earth. The tyrant of Western Chu, Xiang Yu, used a spear of the tyrant. Zhao Zilong, Zhao Yun of Changshan, used a spear of the edge of cliffs to enter and exit an army of millions. Ma Chao, one of the 5 tiger generals like Zhao Yun, used a spear of the deep gold tiger head spear. The famous general of the Sui and Tang dynasties, Luo Qing, used a spear of the 5-tiger soul-breaking spear. Spear? The heavier the better? Hearing Zhou Donghuang's words, the lady was visibly taken aback. She looked Zhou Donghuang up and down. Young master, are you going to use it for yourself, or are you buying it as a gift? For myself, Zhou Donghuang said. Young master, please follow me. Although she felt that the young man in front of her would not be able to lift the heavy guns, as a sales assistant, she still brought him to the heaviest gun. The weapons rack was located in an inconspicuous corner of the shop. The reason for this was that spears were one of the more difficult weapons to sell in weapon shop. Most people would either use a saber or a sword, both of which were relatively light and easy to carry around. Guns were often used by soldiers in the army. However, in the country of Yunyang, only the royal family and the king's household had armies. Even the governor's household of the major city only had a few guards to maintain order in the city. Young master, this is the heaviest spear in our shop. It is 7 feet long, and its entire body is forged from pig iron that has been tempered hundreds and thousands of times. The spearhead is made of fine steel, and it weighs 300 pounds. The woman thought that after hearing her introduction, the white-robed youth in front of her would definitely feel that the spear was too heavy. After all, for a young man of his age to have level 1 of Qi gathering, it would already be impressive. And for a level 1 adept of Qi gathering, the burst of Qi would at most be equivalent to the strength of a bull. Coupled with the young man's own strength, he would at most have the strength of 1,000 pounds. With the strength of 1,000 pounds, it would not be difficult to lift a spear of 300 pounds, but it would not be realistic to wield it as a weapon and wield it as one's own arm. To wield a spear of 300 pounds as one's own arm, one would need at least level 2 of Qi gathering and the strength of 2 bulls. 300 pounds? Hearing the woman's words, Zhou Donghuang shook his head. Just as the woman thought that Zhou Donghuang shook his head because the spear was too heavy, Zhou Donghuang spoke again. It's too light. Do you have anything heavier? Zhou Donghuang asked. Before the woman could speak, another burst of laughter came from behind Zhou Donghuang. A young man and a young lady were walking side by side into the weapons catalog under the guidance of another sales assistant. The person who had laughed was the young man. A kid who hasn't even grown his hair out dares to say that a spear of 300 pounds is too light. What a joke! The young man was dressed in a fine green robe. His features were ordinary, but his eyes were extremely cunning. But the young lady beside him had delicate features, and although there was a hint of immaturity in her features, it could not hide her enchanting charm. Hearing the voice, Zhou Donghuang instinctively turned to look at the young man. With just one glance, he realized that this young man seemed somewhat familiar, but he could not recall where he had seen him before. Zhou Donghuang. Just as Zhou Donghuang's gaze swept over the young man and was about to look away, the young lady beside the young man exclaimed in surprise. Hearing the exclamation, Zhou Donghuang looked at the young lady and raised an eyebrow. He greeted her calmly, Li Rue. The young lady was none other than Li Rue, the daughter of Li Yun, the guild master of Qinyun Guild in Ningping Town. A few days ago, Zhou Donghuang had delivered some goods to Qinyun Guild in Ningping Town, and at Li Yun's invitation, he had had a meal with the mother and daughter. However, although he had a good impression of Li Yun, his impression of Li Yun was extremely poor. Xiao Rui, you know him? The young man beside Li Rue looked at Zhou Donghuang warily as he saw Li Rue and Zhou Donghuang greet each other. Li Rue had come from Qinyun Guild in Ningping Town, and he had taken a liking to her the moment she had arrived in the Li family of the prefecture capital. Initially, Li Rue had ignored him, but after much effort from him, Li Rue had finally been willing to talk to him. Today, he had invited Li Rue out with the intention of giving her a suitable weapon, so he had brought her to the best weapons shop in Yunfeng Prefecture. He had not expected that the arrogant and handsome young man in the shop would actually know Li Rue. Brother Li Hui, He's the adopted son of a friend of my mother's. He's a martial invalid who can't practice qi. Faced with the youth's question, Li Rui glanced at Zhou Donghuang, and the corners of her mouth curled up into a mocking smile. My mother wanted to pair me up with him, but I rejected her. A martial invalid is not worthy of me, Li Rui. As she spoke, Li Rui looked at Zhou Donghuang with disdain. Previously, in Ningping town, Zhou Donghuang had ignored her, which had made her very angry. Now that she had finally met Zhou Donghuang again, she could not help but mock him in front of so many people. Martial invalid? Hearing Li Rui's disdain for Zhou Donghuang, Li Hui secretly heaved a sigh of relief. At the same time, he glanced at Zhou Donghuang condescendingly. A martial invalid dares to dream of eating swan meat? Young man, I advise you to stay away from Xiao Rui, otherwise I, Li Hui, will not let you off. As he spoke, Li Hui looked at Zhou Donghuang with a threatening look. You, just as Fu was about to step forward angrily and say that his young master was not a martial invalid, Zhou Donghuang reached out to stop him. Li Rui. Zhou Donghuang looked calmly at Li Rui and said calmly, On account of Aunt Yun, I won't hold it against you. Li Rui said that he was not worthy of her? Zhou Donghuang found this extremely laughable. In his previous life, many chiefs and sect leaders of the great galactic clans and supreme sects had fought tooth and nail to send the proud daughters of their clans and sects to his bed, and he had not even bothered to look at them. And Li Rui's beauty could not even compare to that of the proud daughters of the great galactic clans and supreme sections. She could not even compare to the servant girls who served tea to these proud daughters of the great galactic clans and supreme sections. You won't hold it against me? Li Rui was taken aback at first, and then her mocking smile deepened. Zhou Donghuang, you are a martial invalid, do you really think you can fight me? Although I, Li Rui, have not attained level 1 of qi gathering, the qi in my body is enough to exert more than 250 kilograms of force. I advise you not to humiliate yourself. The mocking smile on Li Rui's face gradually turned into a cold smile. Xiao Rui, if he really wanted to fight you, why would he need your help? I, Li Hui, can beat him to a pulp. Li Hui deliberately wanted to show off in front of Li Rui, and he looked at Zhou Donghuang with disdain. Lad, I, Li Hui, am not only the son of the 9th elder of the preeminent Li family, Li Yan, but also a level 1 adept of qi gathering. If you want to fight Xiao Rui, you'll have to get past me first. Li Hui looked like a protector of the flower. The son of the 9th elder of the Li family, Li Yan? Zhou Donghuang was taken aback, and then he realized why he had said that this young man looked familiar, as if he had seen him somewhere before, but he could not remember where. It was not because he had seen him before, but because he had seen his father, the 9th elder of the Li family, Li Yan. On the way from Qingshan town to the prefecture capital, the 9th elder of the Li family, Li Yan, whom he had killed, looked 50 to 60% similar to this Li Hui. The 9th elder of the Li family? Fu, who was standing behind Zhou Donghuang, was stunned when he heard Li Hui's words, and when he recovered, he could not help but grimace. It looked like this fellow still did not know that his father was already dead. Moreover, he had died at the hands of the person he was looking down on. He's the one you found, the one you think is worthy of you? Zhou Donghuang looked at Li Rui meaningfully, and the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. Humph! Li Rui snorted coldly, and from the corner of her mouth she glanced at Li Hui and said, Brother Li Hui, of course he's 10 times, 100 times stronger than you. Of course, there was still some disdain in Li Rui's eyes. When she had first arrived at the Li family of the prefecture capital, Li Hui had been pestering her, but she had looked down on him, even though he was the son of the 9th elder of the Li family. Later, her attitude towards Li Hui had improved because she had accidentally found out that Li Hui and his father were very close to the second young master of the Li family, Li Pingyun. Now, she had only accepted Li Hui's advances because she wanted to get to know the second young master of the Li family, Li Pingyun, through him. Li Pingyun was the only son of the chief of the Li family, and the future chief of the Li family. Furthermore, the eldest daughter of the Li family, who was also Li Pingyun's elder sister, was the concubine of the junior governor of the intermediate prefecture capital, Guangling Prefecture. In the inferior prefecture capital, Yunfeng Prefecture, even the governor's household, the Zhao family, did not dare to offend the Li family because of the eldest daughter of the Li family. In Li Rui's eyes, in the entire Li family of the prefecture capital, only Li Pingyun was worthy of her. P.S. Seeking recommendation votes? Chapter 36. Brother Li Hui is definitely 10 times, no, 100 times better than you, Zhou Donghuang. Li Rui had thought that her words would infuriate Zhou Donghuang, but to her surprise, Zhou Donghuang's expression did not change at all. As long as you like it. Zhou Donghuang nodded nonchalantly. He no longer looked at Li Rui and Li Hui, but turned his attention to the lady who was acting as a sales assistant. As the largest weapons shop in Yunfeng Prefecture, your Hall of Gods should have more than these weapons, right? The Hall of God was the name of the best weapons shop in Yunfeng Prefecture. Now, the weapons that could be seen in the Hall of God were basically made of pig iron and steel. None of them were made of more precious metals or ores. From what he knew, weapons made of black iron could even be bought in Yunfeng Prefecture, but he did not see any here. Therefore, he suspected that the Hall of God did not only have these weapons for sale on the surface. Pfft. Before the lady could answer, Zhou Donghuang, Li Hui, who was standing nearby, could not help but laugh. Kid, of course the Hall of God does not only have these weapons on the first floor. The second floor of the Hall of God does not only have weapons made of better metals and ores, but even weapons made of black iron. However, even the cheapest weapon on the second floor costs 3,000 liang of silver. Do you have the money to buy it? As he spoke, Li Hui looked at Zhou Donghuang mockingly. You have a second floor here? Zhou Donghuang looked at the lady beside him. Yes, sir. The lady smiled and nodded. The first floor sells more ordinary weapons, while the second floor only sells premium weapons, which are also very expensive. Are there heavier weapons on the second floor? Zhou Donghuang asked again. Yes. The lady nodded again. All right, bring me to the second floor. Zhou Donghuang said. Sir, the second floor of the Hall of God requires you to show sufficient wealth before you can go up. The lady reminded him. How do I show my wealth? Zhou Donghuang raised an eyebrow. He did not expect the Hall of God to have such a personality. To go up to the second floor, they had to show their wealth. You have to have at least 5,000 liang of silver on you. The lady continued to smile. Haha. Kid, did you hear that? Just as the woman finished speaking, Li Hui could not help but laugh. The second floor of the Divine Armament Pavilion is not a place where you can go just because you want to. If you don't have 5,000 taels of silver on you, they won't let you go up. You said that my young master can't go up. Are you saying that you can go up? Seeing Li Hui jump out again, even if he knew that his young master disdained to bicker with him, Ah Fu couldn't bear to watch any longer. He cast a cold glance at Li Hui. It's naturally not difficult for me to go up. I just have to ask my father for 5,000 silver taels. However, who can your young master ask for 5,000 silver taels from? As the son of the Li family's ninth elder, Li Yan, Li Hui always had a sense of superiority and looked down on Fu. Your father? A strange smile appeared on Fu's face. At the same time, Zhou Donghuang called Fu, Fu. Following that, under the shocked and incredulous gazes of Li Hui and Li Rui, Fu took a step forward and took out a large stack of banknotes, waving them in front of the lady who was acting as the shop assistant. Is this enough? The banknotes that Fu took out were all worth 1,000 taels of silver, stamped with the imperial seal of the Yunyang Imperial Court. These were banknotes commonly used in the country of Yunyang. When Zhao San had left Yunxian restaurant, he had not taken the restaurant's operating funds with him. That sum of money amounted to 200,000 silver taels of silver. This time, Zhou Dongwang had asked Fu to bring 150,000 silver taels of silver. Enough, it's enough. Fu casually took out a large stack of banknotes, which was at least 70 or 80,000 silver taels of silver. The lady's eyes lit up as she knew that she had met a big customer this time. "Dear customers, please come upstairs." The lady bowed and raised her hand, leading the way for Zhou Dongwang and Fu. Although she had not been rude to them before, she was obviously more respectful now. Li Hui and Li Rue only regained their senses when the three of them disappeared down the staircase at the end of the shop, their eyes still filled with disbelief. The lady who was acting as a shop assistant beside them could not hide the regret in her eyes. She regretted not having gone up to receive the two customers first. As a shop assistant in the Hall of Gods of Arms, she received a 1% commission from the customers they received. On the second floor of the Hall of Gods of Arms, even the cheapest weapon cost at least 3,000 silver taels, which meant that the commission was at least 30 silver taels. Xiao Rui, who is he? Li Hui's expression was grave as he regained his senses. Even his father, the ninth elder of the Li family, Li Yan, had not been so generous to take out 70 or 80,000 silver taels of silver so casually. Anyone who could take out such a sum of silver in Yunfeng Prefecture had to be from an illustrious family. "I don't know either." Li Rue shook her head. "I only know that his mother used to be the guild master of the Magnolia Guild in Qingshan Town, but now that the Lin family no longer supports the Magnolia Guild has collapsed. Furthermore, even if the Magnolia Guild had not collapsed, his mother would not have had so much money for him to squander. However, rumor has it that the original owner of Yunxian Restaurant in Qingshan Town, Grandpa Zhao San, gave Yunxian Restaurant to him. Could that be true?" Li Rue had heard many people mention this when she had been at the Qingyun Guild in Ningping Town. But she still did not believe it. After all, why would a martial invalid deserve Grandpa Zhao San to give him such a lucrative business like Yunxian Restaurant? But now, seeing Zhou Donghuang's attendant casually take out a stack of banknotes worth at least 70 or 80,000 silver taels, she had no choice but to believe it. Otherwise, there was no way to explain why Zhou Donghuang had so much money. Yunxian Restaurant? Li Hui could not help but laugh when he heard Li Rue's words. "No wonder I thought that kid's name sounded familiar, so he is the new owner of Yunxian Restaurant in Qingshan Town, Zhou Donghuang. Brother Li Hui, you know him too?" Li Rue started. "Not only do I know him, I also know that my father and second young master are going to Qingshan Town to look for him." The smile on Li Hui's face brightened. "Xiao Rui, don't worry, he will only be happy for a few days. When he has squandered all his money, he will be a pauper." After listening to Li Hui's words, Li Rue naturally guessed at some things. But, if Yunxian Restaurant was really given to him by Elder Zhao San, wouldn't Elder Zhao San intervene if he rashly set his sights on Yunxian Restaurant? Xiao Rui, second young master, personally went to the governor's household to ask Grandpa Zhao San. Grandpa Zhao San said that he has given away the restaurant and will not intervene in its future ownership. Li Hui smiled. That is to say, after he gave the restaurant to Zhou Dongwang, he left Zhou Dongwang to fend for himself. Li Rue's eyes lit up. That means in the future, Yunxian Restaurant will be second young master's business? That's right. Li Hui nodded and said proudly, "Second young master brought my father over this time and promised him, in the future, 10% of Yunxian Restaurant's profits would go to my father." Li Rue glanced at Li Hui, and a look of disdain flashed across her eyes. But then she thought of second young master Li Pingyun of the Li family, and her eyes lit up again. In that case, as long as she settled things with Li Pingyun, she would become the lady boss of Yunxian Restaurant? Chapter 37. On the second floor of the Hall of Gods, the lady who was acting as a shop assistant welcomed Zhou Donghuang and Fu and enthusiastically brought them to the weapons rack. "Sir, we only have these 2 spears on the second floor of the Hall of Gods." As the lady spoke, Zhou Donghuang saw that there were only 2 spears on the weapons rack. One of the spears had a head made of purple ore, and its tip gleamed with a cold light. It was extremely sharp. The body of the spear was made of bamboo, but Zhou Donghuang could tell at a glance that it was no ordinary bamboo. Furthermore, a spear made of ordinary bamboo would not be placed on the second floor of the Hall of Gods. Seeing that Zhou Donghuang's gaze had fallen on the spear on the left, the lady smiled and introduced it. "Sir, this spear's head is made from rare purple crystal ore that has been repeatedly hammered to remove impurities. As for the body of the spear, it is made from the extremely rare tan bamboo. It is as strong as steel, but has the toughness that steel does not have. However, this spear only weighs about 50 kilograms. Even before the lady had introduced it, Zhou Donghuang could already tell that it was not heavy, because it was an extremely tough shotgun. There were many types of spears. The most common and direct one was the heavy spear, which was a simple weapon with no craftsmanship. Some experts who used spears preferred to use shotguns, because shotguns were more flexible, and they could use the elasticity of the spear to fight. However, although shotguns were not bad, they were not what Zhou Donghuang needed now. Following that, Zhou Donghuang's gaze fell on the second spear. This spear was completely black with a faint red glow. It looked extremely heavy, and the spear head and the spear body were one. It was a spear with the head and the body. Black iron. With just one look, Zhou Donghuang could tell that this spear was made of pure black iron, and the spearhead had already been sharpened, giving off a cold light. Sharpened black iron could cut through iron like it was mud. "Customer, this spear is the heaviest spear in our divine weapon pavilion. Its entire body is forged from dark steel, and it's as one. Its weight reaches 1200 jin. The lady introduced. "This is it," Zhou Donghuang said. This was exactly the spear he wanted. He had originally thought that he would at most be able to buy a spear that was mixed with black iron in the Divine Weapon Pavilion, but he never thought that he would be able to find a spear that was completely forged with black iron. To him, this was undoubtedly a pleasant surprise. "Customer, because this spear is forged entirely from dark steel, its price is also very high," the woman reminded. "How much?" Zhou Donghuang asked. 140,000 taels of silver. 120,000 taels of silver is the price of dark steel materials. As for the other 20,000 taels, 10,000 taels are for the cost of the black iron scraps that were wasted during the forging process, and the remaining 10,000 taels are for the blacksmith master's processing fees. When the woman spoke, not only did she state the price of the recondite iron heavy spear, but she also mentioned the other aspects of the price. In the country of Yunyang, the market price of black iron was 100 liang of silver per caddy. Because dark steel was dense and heavy, 1 jin of dark steel was not much. Even if one wanted to forge a normal dagger, one would need at least 25 to 30 jin of dark steel. "Fu." Zhou Donghuang called Fu, and Fu immediately took 2 steps forward and took out all the silver he had in his pocket. He only kept 10,000 liang and gave the rest to the woman. Before leaving, besides the 150,000 liang of silver, Fu had also brought some loose silver with him. He usually used loose silver for his expenses, so the silver was not touched at all. It was still the same as before he left, 150,000 liang. "Customer, please wait a moment, I'll get the shopkeeper to give you a receipt." After the woman confirmed that the silver was correct, she jogged up the stairs to the 3rd floor of the Hall of Gods. Obviously, the shopkeeper of the Hall of Gods was on the 3rd floor. The woman went to the 3rd floor, and not long after, she returned. When she returned, she was following behind an old man. The old man was dressed in a loose gray robe. He was thin, but his eyes were bright and full of life. At this moment, a wide smile hung on his wizened face. However, the old man's smile looked even uglier than a cry. "Customer, this is the shopkeeper of the Hall of Gods, Elder Chen." As the lady followed the old man towards Zhou Dongwang, she introduced the old man to him. "I am Zhao Ruochen, the shopkeeper of the Hall of Gods. Greetings, customer." The old man walked in front of Zhou Dongwang and bowed slightly to Zhou Dongwang. At the same time, he handed a thick piece of paper to Zhou Dongwang. "Sir, this is the receipt for your purchase of that black iron spear." Zhou Dongwang nodded slightly and took the receipt. He handed it to Fu, his gaze never leaving the old man. "Now, can I take the spear away? Customer, do you need us to send it to your door?" Hearing Zhou Dongwang's words, Zhao Ruochen was stunned, and so was the woman behind him. "No need." As Zhou Dongwang spoke, he turned and took a step forward. With one hand, he picked up the black iron heavy spear from the weapon rack. To Zhou Dongwang, 600 kilograms was not too heavy. However, with his current ability, without using some special martial arts techniques, it would still be difficult for him to wield the black iron heavy spear as if it were his own arm. However, would he lack martial arts techniques that contain special techniques? Following that, under the shocked gazes of Zhao Ruochen and the woman behind him, Zhou Dongwang held the spear in one hand and walked down the first floor with Fu, his expression unchanged, and left the Hall of Gods. As for Li Rui and Li Hui, they had already left not long after Zhou Dongwang had gone to the second floor of the Hall of Gods. Who is he? Standing at the door of the Hall of Gods, Zhao Ruochen only recovered his senses when Zhou Dongwang and Li Hui's figures disappeared from his sight. He turned and walked back, muttering to himself. A youth who looked to be about 16 or 17 years old had casually picked up the black iron heavy spear that weighed 600 kilograms and left. The entire process had been as smooth as flowing water, and the youth's breathing and expression had remained normal until he had left the Hall of Gods. It was as if carrying the spear and walking had no pressure on him. What did this mean? It meant that the youth had at least the strength of 1,000 kilograms. A youth of about 16 or 17 years old with the strength of 1,000 kilograms. What kind of concept was that? Elder Chen. Just then, the woman in charge of receiving Li Hui and Li Rui heard Zhao Ruochen muttering to himself and said, "Just now, the other two guests I received seemed to have addressed the youth as Zhou Dongwang. They also said that the youth was the owner of Yunxian Restaurant in Qingshan Town." The woman finished her sentence in one breath. Zhou Dongwang. Just as the woman finished speaking, Zhao Ruochen's eyes narrowed as he stared at the woman. "Are you sure his name is Zhou Dongwang?" Elder Chen, the two guests that Sister Mei received just now did indeed address the guest I received as Zhou Dongwang. The woman who had received Zhou Dongwang also spoke now. Zhou Dongwang did not know of the shock that Zhao Ruochen, the shopkeeper of the Hall of Gods, had after learning of his identity. After bringing Fu back to the inn, he instructed Fu, prepare a letter and have someone bring it to the Lu family and hand it over to the chief of the Lu family, Lu Qinghu. In the letter, tell him tomorrow afternoon Zhou Dongwang, will go to the Lu family. As he finished speaking, his eyes flashed with a brilliant light, dazzling and eye-catching. It was time for him to settle some things. Today, he had gone to buy a spear in preparation for this matter. Yes, young master. Chapter 38. A weapon weighing 600 caddies. An ordinary adept would need to be at least level 5 of Qi gathering to wield it as if it were his own arm. Moreover, even a level 5 adept would only be able to wield it as if it were his own arm for a short period of time. To wield it as if it were his own arm, he would need to be at least level 7 of Qi gathering. After Fu left, Zhou Dongwang sat on the bed in the guest room of the inn, looking at the black iron spear leaning against the wall and muttering to himself, "With the strength that I have now, Even if I want to wield this black iron spear as if it were my own arm for a short period of time, I can only do so by using the first-grade technique, wave stacking force. Wave stacking force was a first-grade technique that was different from ordinary first-grade technique. With the qi that Zhou Donghuang currently possessed, he would not be able to use an ordinary first-grade technique. Even if he forced himself to use it, its power would at most be comparable to a second-grade technique, and the qi in his body would be almost depleted after using it once. But wave stacking force was about stacking the qi layer by layer, and the more it was stacked, the more powerful it was. Wave stacking force could stack up to 9 layers of qi, and its final power depended entirely on the strength of the qi of the user. The reason it was said to be different from ordinary first-grade techniques was that even a level 1 adept of qi gathering would be able to use it perfectly, although its power would be weaker. Its power depended entirely on the strength of the qi, and the higher the level of the practitioner, the more powerful it would be when used. With Zhou Donghuang's current level 2 of qi gathering, using the first-grade technique, wave stacking force, would quickly deplete the qi in his body unless he held back. In the end, the true energy in my body is still too weak. Also, my cultivation progress is too slow. In less than a month, Zhou Donghuang had gone from an ordinary person who had not cultivated qi to a level 2 adept of the qi gathering from the moment the seal had been lifted. Not just in the country of Yunyang, but even in the entire planet of Ziyun, this speed of cultivation was second to none. But he still thought it was too slow? He could imagine that if his thoughts were known by others, they would definitely want to strangle him to death. I'll have to think of a way to get my hands on some better herbs. That way, I'll be able to formulate a better qi-gathering elixir, and my rate of practice will increase. Otherwise, with the qi-gathering elixir I am using now, I would need at least a month or so to attain level 3 of qi-gathering. From level 2 to level 3 of qi-gathering, it would take about a month. Too slow. This was what Zhou Donghuang was thinking now. However, even though he found it slow, he still obediently consumed a bottle of qi-gathering elixir, sat down cross-legged, closed his eyes, and began to practice the Lord of the Four Supremes, fully immersing himself in cultivation. In Yunfeng Prefecture, the largest family was the governor's household, the Zhao family. The Zhao family was also a preeminent family. However, among the many preeminent families in the Yunyan country, even the Zhao family could only be considered an upper-middle-class preeminent family. The Zhao family only had one level 5 adept of qi gathering. The elite preeminent families usually had many level 5 adepts, and some even had 5 or 6 level 5 adepts. Of course, it was impossible for a preeminent family to have a level 6 adept. This was because any family with a level 6 adept could immediately become a grand family in the country of Yunyang. A level 6 adept was equivalent to the face of a grand family. Just like how a level 4 adept was the face of a preeminent family. At this moment, in an elegant courtyard in the governor's household of the Zhao family, an old man was reporting something to a middle-aged man. If Zhou Donghuang were here, he would definitely be able to recognize the two men immediately. The old man was the shopkeeper of the Hall of Gods, Zhao Ruochen, and the middle-aged man was the former owner of Yunxian Restaurant in Qinshan Town, Zhao San. Oh? He's here in the prefecture capital? Zhao San was surprised to hear from the old man that Zhou Donghuang had come to Yunfeng Prefecture. He even went to the Hall of Gods and spent 140,000 liang of silver on that black iron spear? The black iron spear weighed 600 caddies, and even now that he had regained his level 4 level of qi gathering, it was still difficult for him to wield it as a weapon. Even his elder brother, the governor of Yunfeng Prefecture and patriarch of the Zhao family, Zhao Lisheng, was only able to wield the black iron spear like it was his own arm for a short period of time, even though he was a level 5 adept. Not only did he buy the black iron spear, but he did not even need us to deliver it to him. He picked it up and left from the second floor to the first floor, and then out the door, He did not even blush or pant, as if he was under no pressure at all. Zhao Ruochen smiled bitterly. The Hall of Gods was the property of the governor's household of the Zhao family. Zhao San had regained his level 4 level of qi gathering, and after returning to the governor's household, his elder brother had left the management of the Hall of Gods to him. Zhao Ruochen had been appointed as the shopkeeper of the Hall of Gods after Zhao San had returned, and he was his direct subordinate. Because of this, Zhao Ruochen had heard Zhao San mention Zhou Donghuang. That was why he had lost his composure in the Hall of Gods after finding out that the youth was Zhou Donghuang. What? As soon as Zhao Ruochen finished speaking, Zhao San, who was sitting at the stone table in the courtyard, stood up in shock. Shock and disbelief appeared on his face. Elder Chen, is what you said true? Zhao San's eyes were filled with shock. Even an ordinary level 1 adept would not be able to lift the black iron spear that weighed 600 caddies, and to carry it out of the Hall of Gods from the second floor without blushing or panting, one had to be at least a level 2 adept. Elder San, I saw it with my own eyes, Zhao Ruochen said confidently. Looks like I've underestimated him. Zhao San sighed. Back then, when he helped me get rid of my illness after I went berserk, I knew he was not simple, but I never thought that he would be able to become a level 2 adept in such a short period of time. A 17-year-old level 2 adept looks like Fengxia's title as the top of the younger generation in Yunfeng Prefecture will have to go to him. Zhao Fengxia was the son of Zhao Lisang, the chief of the Zhao family and Zhao San's nephew. Back then, Zhao Fengxia had just turned 18 when he had attained level 2 of qi gathering, and he had been recognized as the top of the younger generation in Yunfeng Prefecture. But now, Zhou Donghuang had become a level 2 adept at the age of 17, and he had clearly overshadowed Zhao Fengxia. Elder San, such a young and promising adept, I think we should take him in for our own use, Zhao Ruochen suggested. Take him in for our own use? The image of that arrogant youth floated into Zhao San's mind, and after a moment of silence, he shook his head and smiled bitterly. Not just me, but even my elder brother might not be able to make him submit. Although that youth was young, the arrogance in his bones was very obvious. In his opinion, even if someone could make him submit, it would not be him or his elder brother. The Lu family household. Zhou Donghuang. I haven't even gone to look for him, and he's here himself. The chief of the Lu family, Lu Qinghu, looked at the letter in his hand with a cold smile. In a moment, he sent someone to the Ma and Fong families to find the chief of the Ma family, Ma Tianba, and the chief of the Fong family, Fong Jishan. Zhou Donghuang is coming to the Lu family tomorrow afternoon? If he really dares to come, I'll make sure he never returns. Chapter 39. Noon, January 9th, 1228 of the Ziyun era. 7 people stood in the drawing room of the Lu family mansion, and the atmosphere was solemn. Besides the patriarch of the Lu family, Lu Qinghu, the patriarch of the Ma family, Ma Tianba, and the patriarch of the Fong family, Fong Jishan, there were 4 other people. Behind Lu Qinghu stood a middle-aged man and an old woman. They were his second brother, Lu Bao, and head elder, Lu Pinglan, both level 3 adepts of qi gathering. The middle-aged man behind Ma Tianba was the second elder of the Ma family, Ma Dongfeng, a level 3 adept whose ability was second only to him. The old man behind Fong Jishan was the head elder of the Fong family, Fong Zhan, a level 3 adept whose ability was second only to the patriarch of the Fong family. The 7 level 3 adepts had gathered here precisely because of the letter that Lu Qinghu had received the day before. Will that Zhou Donghuang really come? Fong Jishan frowned. Since the letter has been delivered, of course he will come. Lu Qinghu said in a low voice, if he doesn't come, then there is only one possibility, that letter was a prank. But the possibility of that is slim to none. After all, only our 3 families know that our sons have been maimed. As the saying went, don't wash your dirty linen in public. The Lu, Ma, and Fang families had kept the news of Lu Yuan, Ma Jin, and Fang Tianyi's maiming a secret. At that moment, Patriarch Zhou Dongwang is here. A sudden shout came from outside, and the gazes of the 7 level 3 adepts in the drawing room froze. A moment later, they saw an extraordinarily handsome and elegant youth in white, his hands behind his back, walked unhurriedly into the great hall, led by a member of the Lu family. Behind the young man was an honest-looking young man. Behind the young man were 2 middle-aged men with strong physiques. Now, the 2 burly men were carrying a 7-foot spear. The spear was entirely black with a faint red glow, and the sharpened spearhead shone with a dazzling cold light, demonstrating its sharpness. "You are Zhou Dongwang?" Lu Qinghu asked in a low voice as he took a step forward and stared at the youth in white. "Lu Qinghu?" Zhou Dongwang glanced at Lu Qinghu lightly, his tone so calm that it did not sound like a young man speaking. Although today was the first time he had met Lu Qinghu, Fu had gone out to gather information on the Lu, Ma, and Fang families over the past 2 days, so Zhou Dongwang already had a rough idea of Lu Qinghu's characteristics. He was skinny and looked like he would collapse in the wind. However, he was the strongest among the Lu, Ma, and Fang families. "You've got guts. We haven't even gone to look for you, but you've come knocking on our door." Lu Qinghu sneered, his eyes gleaming coldly. "I had no choice. When your sons came to Qingshan town, all the people in my Yunxian restaurant ran away. If I didn't come looking for you, Yunxian restaurant wouldn't be able to open." Zhou Dongwang's gaze swept past Lu Qinghu, Ma Tianba, and Fang Jishan. When he recognized Lu Qinghu, he also recognized Ma Tianba and Fang Jishan. In fact, when he had asked Fu to deliver the letter yesterday, he had predicted that the Ma and Fang families would definitely be present. The 2 families had always been on the same side as the Lu family. In a prefecture city like Yunfeng Prefecture, if the lesser families wanted to survive, they had to band together, or they would only be swallowed up by the preeminent families. "They're smart. If they hadn't run, they would have been buried with you." Ma Tianba stared at Zhou Dongwang, his eyes full of murderous intent. "I'll cut to the chase." Zhou Dongwang's gaze suddenly became sharp without warning. "This time, I've come for one thing. Your 3 families, send some collateral descendants without much martial talent to Qingshan town to work as servant girls and waiters at my Yunxian restaurant. Of course, Yunxian restaurant will not skimp on their wages. As long as the 3 lesser families sent people to Yunxian restaurant as servant girls and waiters, Yunxian restaurant would naturally be able to reopen. As for the previous chefs of Yunxian restaurant, seeing that the 3 lesser families had sent people to Qingshan town to help manage Yunxian restaurant, they would naturally return to Yunxian restaurant. After all, they would not be able to earn more than what Yunxian restaurant offered elsewhere." Following Zhou Dongwang's words, there was dead silence. At this moment, even Fu, who was behind Zhou Dongwang, was stunned. Although he knew that his young master was here to resolve the problems that the 3 lesser families had brought to Yunxian restaurant, he had never imagined that his young master would directly ask for people from the 3 lesser families. Ha 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 ha! When Ma Tianba recovered, he was the first to burst into laughter. He laughed so hard that tears streamed down his face, showing how agitated he was. Lu Qinghu laughed as well. Everyone else also had mocking smiles on their faces. "Today, you brought this heavy black iron spear from the Hall of Gods here to give it to our 3 families as a peace offering?" Fang Jishan asked mockingly as he glanced at the spear carried by the burly man behind Zhou Dongwang. When Zhou Dongwang and the others had entered, he had already noticed that the heavy black iron spear carried by the 2 burly men was the one from the 2nd floor of the Hall of Gods. As Fang Jishan spoke, Lu Qinghu, Ma Tianba and the others all looked at the heavy black iron spear. As the top figures of the 3 lesser families of Yunfeng Prefecture, they had all been to the 2nd floor of the Hall of Gods, and they recognized at a glance that this was indeed the heavy black iron spear from the 2nd floor of the Hall of Gods. 140,000 liang of silver, how extravagant! Ma Tianba's eyes shone with greed as he grinned at Zhou Dongwang. Today, leave the spear and leave you behind. What about you? Is that what you mean? Hearing Ma Tianba's words, Zhou Dongwang only glanced at him lightly before looking at Lu Qinghu and the rest with a nonchalant expression. Since you are here, don't even think of leaving. Fang Jishan laughed coldly. Lu Qinghu did not speak, but the murderous glint in his eyes said it all. Now, he did not think about what secrets Zhou Dongwang had, nor did he think about the close relationship between Zhou Dongwang and Zhao San. If Zhou Dongwang really had a trump card, why would he need to bring the heavy black iron spear that was worth 140,000 liang of silver to the Lu family to apologize? I advise you can think about it. Zhou Dongwang's eyes narrowed, and a sudden cold light flashed across his eyes. There's no need to think about it. Ma Tianba laughed maniacally as he walked towards Zhou Dongwang, picking up his pace. I gave you a chance. Zhou Dongwang sighed, and in a flash, he used the star-stepping footwork to appear beside the two burly men behind him. Pa! Zhou Dongwang raised his hand and grabbed the black iron spears that the two strong men were carrying. Then, with a flick of his hand, he removed the spears from their shoulders. In the next moment, the qi in Zhou Dongwang's body vibrated, and wave after wave surged towards his hands like waves in the ocean. Zhou Dongwang had demonstrated the first-grade technique wave stacking force. What? You, a level 2 adept of qi gathering, want to use this heavy black iron spear? What a joke! Even a level 4 adept would not dare say that he could use this heavy black iron spear that weighs 600 kilograms. As Ma Tianba rushed towards Zhou Dongwang, he saw Zhou Dongwang remove the heavy black iron spear, and he smiled mockingly. He was not surprised that Zhou Dongwang could pick up the heavy black iron spear. Any level 2 adept could pick up a heavy black iron spear, but to use it against an enemy, one had to be at least level 5 of qi gathering. Even a level 4 adept could barely use such a weapon, but the speed at which he attacked was extremely slow, and it was difficult to hit his opponent. Now, not only did Ma Tianba think so, but Lu Qinghu and the others also thought so. However, the scene that unfolded in the next moment caused their pupils to constrict in unison. Bang! Faced with the menacing Ma Tianba, Zhou Dongwang's right hand, which was holding the black iron spear, moved. Immediately, the black iron spear seemed to transform into a bolt of black lightning as it swept across. Like a whip, it viciously lashed out at the approaching Ma Tianba. Zhou Dongwang's strength was not weak, and with the intricacies of the first-grade technique wave stacking force and the weight of the heavy black iron spear, it was like a truck crashing into Ma Tianba at a speed of more than 100 kilometers per hour. Whoosh! Ma Tianba's body was sent flying as if it was weightless when Zhou Dongwang's heavy black iron spear struck him. Boom! Kaboom! Chapter 40. How is this possible? The scene just now happened in the blink of an eye. It was so fast that Lu Qinghu and the others didn't have time to react. When they came back to their senses, there was only shock and disbelief left in their eyes. Ma Tianba was an outstanding level 3 adept, and even among all the level 3 adepts in the 3 lesser families, his ability was among the top 5. But such a person had been killed by a 17-year-old youth with a single blow. Although they did not confirm whether Ma Tianba was dead or alive, they knew that Ma Tianba was definitely dead. It would be a miracle if Ma Tianba did not die in such a situation. Is that really the black iron spear from the second floor of the Hall of Gods? Isn't he just a level 2 adept? How can he wield a 600-kilogram black iron spear so easily? If not for that black iron spear, would Chief Ma have been sent flying like that? When Lu Qinghu and the others looked at Zhou Dongwang again, their expressions were grave, and their eyes were filled with fear. All of you, come at me together. In a flash, Zhou Dongwang once again used the star-stepping footwork and sprinted towards Lu Qinghu and the others. Even though he was wielding a 600-kilogram black iron spear, His speed was not slow at all. After smashing Ma Tianba to death with the spear, Zhou Donghuang did not intend to stop there, because he knew that his attack just now might not have been able to completely intimidate Lu Qinghu and the others. Perhaps they thought that he was strong on the outside but weak on the inside, and that such a powerful spear could only be used once? In fact, Lu Qinghu and the others thought so. Now, seeing Zhou Donghuang attack them with the spear, Lu Qinghu's eyes turned cold, and he shouted, "Take him down together! I want to see if he can use such a powerful attack a second time." With that, Lu Qinghu made the first move, pouncing towards Zhou Donghuang like a ferocious tiger. "Let's attack together." As Lu Qinghu made the first move, the second master of the Lu family, Lu Bao, and the head elder, Lu Pinglan, also made their moves. The second elder of the Ma family, Ma Dongfeng, the patriarch of the Fang family, Fang Jishan, and the head elder, Fang Zhan, followed closely behind. Whoosh, 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 hoo, hoo. With Lu Qinghu in the lead, the 6 level 3 adepts attacked Zhou Donghuang together. As level 3 adepts of Qi gathering, the 3 of them were very fast and surrounded Zhou Donghuang in the blink of an eye, attacking him together. However, as fast as they were, Zhou Donghuang was not slow either. Although Zhou Donghuang was only a level 2 adept of Qi gathering, his strength was not inferior to that of a level 3 adept. Moreover, he had the third-grade movement technique, star-stepping footwork, to rely on, while Lu Qinghu and the others did not cultivate movement technique. Therefore, his current speed was almost the same as Lu Qinghu's. As for the others, they were all slower than him. It's a movement skill. Now Lu Qinghu and the rest finally realized that Zhou Donghuang had used a swiftness technique. Previously, their attention had not been on Zhou Donghuang's feet, so they had not noticed. "Brat, die!" Lu Qinghu roared angrily. His entire body tilted, and using the momentum from the ground, he shot towards Zhou Donghuang like a cannonball. Good move! Faced with the menacing Lu Qinghu, Zhou Donghuang's eyes narrowed, and with a change of his footwork, he charged towards Lu Qinghu. At the same time, he narrowly dodged the attacks of 3 of the other 5, and the one whose attack was closest to him barely managed to touch the corner of his shirt. The 5 of them had not expected that when they were surrounded, Zhou Donghuang would choose Lu Qinghu, the strongest of them, to break through. Could it be that he sees Big Brother's skinny figure and thinks that Big Brother is the weakest among us? Lu Bao laughed coldly to himself. Seeking your own death. Seeing that Zhou Donghuang had not dodged but had instead charged towards him, Lu Qinghu's arms shook, and his hands formed into claws as he grabbed towards Zhou Donghuang. Lu Qinghu's attack was accompanied by a strong gust of wind. However, just as he thought that he was about to grab hold of Zhou Donghuang's body nimbly slithered behind him like a snake. The entire process was extremely strange, as if Zhou Donghuang had really transformed into a snake at that moment. Second-grade swiftness technique, nimble serpent step. Big Brother, be careful. Patriarch, be careful. Patriarch Lu, be careful. Brother Qinghu, be careful. Just as Zhou Donghuang brushed past Lu Qinghu's body, before he could even stop himself, he saw the other 5 people looking behind him in shock and warning him at the same time. Swoosh! The black iron spear that was like a bolt of black lightning suddenly fell, and the sharp tip of the spear cut off Lu Qinghu's entire arm as if it were tofu. Bang! When the dark steel heavy spear landed on the side of Lu Qinghu's chest, it suddenly shook horizontally. At the same time that the terrifying force broke a few of Lu Qinghu's ribs, it sent his entire body flying. He fell on the ground 5 meters away, looking extremely battered and exhausted. He had completely lost his ability to fight. Swoosh! Just as Fang Jishan and the other 4 people were distracted by Lu Qinghu's serious injury, Zhou Donghuang shook the black iron spear in his hand and stabbed it towards Fang Jishan, who was standing on the far left of the 5 people. The black iron spear stabbed out like a dragon emerging from the sea, and its power was overwhelming. When Fang Jishan recovered his senses, the tip of the spear was already inches away. No, Fang Jishan, who had no time to dodge, let out a cry of despair as death approached. As if his cry had an effect, at the most critical moment, the tip of the spear left his chest and moved to the side, brushing past his armpit. Humph! Zhou Dongwang snorted coldly, and the qi in his body surged out, layer by layer, into his right hand that was holding the spear. By the time his qi was almost completely depleted, Zhou Dongwang was already wielding the heavy black iron spear with one hand and carrying Fang Jishan with him as he swept it towards the other four. With the force of 1,000 troops, he swept all 4 of them away, causing them to follow in Lu Qinghu's footsteps. All of this happened in the blink of an eye, and the 4 of them had no time to dodge. Bang! 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 The sound of bodies hitting the ground rang out, and in the blink of an eye, the other 6 of the 7 level 3 adepts from the 3 lesser families had all collapsed after the death of the patriarch of the Ma family, Ma Tianba. Of the 6, Lu Qinghu was the most seriously injured. Of the remaining 5, except for Fang Jishan, who had not broken any tendons or broken bones, all of them had at least 2 or 3 broken ribs. Catch! Zhou Donghuang's right hand that was holding the black iron spear shook, and he used the last bit of qi in his body to throw the black iron spear at the 2 burly men. However, the 2 burly men had long been scared silly by what had happened and could not react at all. The black iron spear crashed into the ground in front of them with a loud crash, and they were so frightened that their expressions changed drastically. As the black iron spear fell, the tiles on the ground could not withstand the pressure and cracked open like a crisscrossing spider web. At this moment, Lu Qinghu and the other 5 no longer dared to doubt the weight of the spear. "Thank you, young Master Donghuang, for showing mercy." Fang Jishan was the least injured, and after struggling to his feet, he bowed to Zhou Dongwang with lingering fear in his heart. Just now, if Zhou Dongwang had not shown mercy, his chest would have been pierced by the black iron spear, and he would have died. Because Zhou Dongwang had turned the spear in time and swept it towards his armpit, he had only suffered some superficial wounds and minor internal injuries. "This life of yours is worth 200,000 liang of silver, right?" Zhou Dongwang looked at Fang Jishan and grinned, revealing 2 rows of snow-white teeth. Although he knew that Zhou Dongwang was extorting him, Fang Jishan did not dare to refute him, and he hurriedly nodded in agreement. "Worth it! Worth it! Worth it! Absolutely worth it!" Although 200,000 liang of silver was not a small sum to the Fang family, they could still afford it. "Your life, Lu Qinghu, 300,000 liang of silver, no objections?" Zhou Dongwang asked as he looked intently at Lu Qinghu, who could not even stand up. No objections." Although Lu Qinghu's expression was very ugly, he did not dare to refuse, deeply afraid that the youth would kill him at the slightest disagreement. "Your lives, 100,000 liang of silver each, no objections?" When Zhou Dongwang's gaze fell on the other 4, they shook their heads with pale faces, not daring to hesitate. "In 10 days, I want to see 30 servant girls and 50 waiters at Yunxian restaurant in Qingshan town." With that, Zhou Dongwang left the Lu family drawing room with Fu, and the 2 burly men hurriedly picked up their black iron spears and prepared to follow. "If you dare to spread word of what happened today, as long as you are still in Yunfeng Prefecture, you will die," Lu Qinghu threatened before the 2 burly men left. Once word of what happened today spread, the Lu family, Ma family, and Fang family would be thoroughly humiliated. That was not what he wanted to see. "Chief Lu, I understand. Chief Lu, I will not speak of it." Hearing Lu Qinghu's threat, the 2 burly men trembled in fear and hurriedly nodded in agreement, before running away from Zhou Donghuang and Fu Jishan. In an instant, the large drawing room regained its peace. "Brother Qinghu." After Zhou Donghuang and the rest had left, Fang Jishan helped Lu Qinghu up, and the others also struggled to their feet, their faces ashen. "Who would have thought that we, the 3 elite lesser families, would one day fall at the hands of a 17-year-old youth. Lu Qinghu shook his head and laughed at himself. Who would have thought that a 17-year-old youth like him would have such terrifying power in front of him? Zhao Fengxia and Hong Yunfei are not even worth mentioning. Fang Jishan laughed bitterly. Zhao Fengxiao was the first young master of the Zhao family of the governor's household. He had attained level 2 of qi gathering at the age of 18 and was widely recognized as the top of the younger generation in Yunfeng Prefecture. Chapter 41. Chief, that Zhou Donghuang is not only able to wield that heavy black iron spear as if it were his own arm, but he can also use a swiftness technique. I've seen the Zhao family of the governor's household demonstrate the swiftness technique of the Zhao family. However, that swiftness technique is far inferior to the swiftness technique of Zhou Donghuang. Head elder Lu Pinglan of the Lu family was a woman, but she was more observant than even Lu Qinghu, the chief of the Lu family. He must have many secrets on him. Why don't we deliberately spread the news that Zhou Donghuang has a third-grade swiftness technique? After all, in Yunfeng Prefecture, and even in the intermediate and superior prefectures, no one knows what a third-grade swiftness technique looks like. His movement technique is stronger than the county governor Manor's Zhao family's movement technique. Even if it's just a lesser-grade movement technique, we can say that it's a third-grade movement technique, and no one will believe us. Once the news of him possessing a third-grade swiftness technique spreads, even those grand families and tycoon families will have their eyes on him. At that time, if he can't hand over the third-grade swiftness technique, those grand families and tycoon families will definitely not let him off. As Lu Pinglan spoke, a cold smile appeared on her wrinkled face, and her eyes shone with a cold light. Just as Fang Jishan and the others were tempted by Lu Pinglan's words, Lu Qinghu shook his head and said, "Head elder, this is indeed a good way to take revenge on Zhou Donghuang, but what if the final outcome is different from what we expect? Today, the publicly acknowledged martial invalid of Qingshan Town has demonstrated the power of a level 5 adept and defeated us. Most importantly, he is only 17 years old. In the whole of Yunfeng Prefecture, the only person who can defeat us with his own power is probably the governor of the governor's household. But how old is the governor now, and how old is he? If the grand and tycoon families have their eyes on him, it would be great if they can kill him, but what if they can't? What if he manages to escape? With his talent, after 20 years of practice, is there anyone in the country of Yunyang who can be his match? When he gets to the bottom of the matter, even if he can't find out that it was our 3 families who spread the news, even if he only suspects us, he can still wipe us out." Lu Pinglan fell silent at Lu Qinghu's words, and Fang Jishan and the others broke out in cold sweat. This youth was only 17 years old, but he was already so terrifying. Given another 20 years, when he was 37 years old, who in the country of Yunyang would be able to defeat him? My suggestion is, grant him whatever he says. If we can, we need to do better and do everything we can to get in touch with him. Lu Qinghu's eyes shone with wisdom. After those 3 brats came back, they all said that he first crippled Ma Jin because Ma Jin bullied his subordinate. The fact that he's willing to stand up for a lowly subordinate shows that he's a man of character. There are only benefits and no disadvantages for us to be on good terms with him. Also, I have a very strong feeling that if our 3 families want to advance further and become preeminent families, he may be our opportunity. Lu Qinghu's eyes burned with passion. Leading the Lu family to become a preeminent family was his lifelong wish. Brother Qinghu, even you can be so flexible, can't I, Fang Jishan? Furthermore, Zhou Donghuang has spared my life today. From today onwards, whatever the Lu family does, the Fang family will do. Fang Jishan was the first to stand out and express his stance. Before he did so, he received the approval of the Fang clan's great elder, Fang Zhan. Chief Lu, your Lu family and the Fang family are still fine. For my Ma family, the chief has died today, and I'm the only one who has seen how terrifying Zhou Donghuang is. Although I want to leave with the Lu and Ma families, I'm afraid the rest of the Ma family will not agree. The second elder of the Ma family, Ma Dongfeng, smiled bitterly. The conflict between the Lu and Feng families and Zhou Donghuang was only a leg of the younger generation, but the conflict between the Ma family and Zhou Donghuang was not only a leg of the younger generation, but also the life of the current chief of the Ma family, Ma Tianba. Elder Dongfeng, if I remember correctly, you are also a direct descendant of the Ma family. Now that Tianba is gone, you are the most powerful person in the Ma family. As long as our two families support you as the chief of the Ma family, who in the Ma family can object? Who would dare to object? Lu Qinghu's eyes flashed as he spoke in a low voice. Hearing this, Ma Dongfeng's eyes lit up. If I can secure the position of chief of the Ma family, I will definitely follow Chief Lu to the end. After returning to the inn, Zhou Donghuang returned to his room and consumed a qi-gathering elixir to recover his qi. Although the qi in his body was almost completely depleted, he was not destroying his own qi. If he wanted to recover his qi to its original state, he would need at most half a day with the qi-gathering elixir in his hands. When night fell, the qi in Zhou Donghuang's body had already recovered to its original state. At the same time, Fu brought back a piece of news that disrupted his plans for the next day. Young master, I've asked around, that fourth elder of the Lin family, Lin Tonghong, left the Lin family a few days ago, left the prefecture capital, and seems to have gone to Qingshan town. To Qingshan town? Zhou Donghuang's eyes narrowed, and a cold smile appeared on his lips. That old fellow, could it be that he has his eyes on my Yunxian restaurant? Originally, he had planned to go to the Lin family the next day to find the fourth elder of the Lin family, Lin Tonghong, and settle the matter of him embezzling the formula for the blood-staunching elixir that he had given to his mother. Now, hearing what Fu had said, he knew that he could return early. Fu, make another trip to the Lu family in a while. We will return to Qingshan town first thing tomorrow morning. Young master, aren't we going to rush back overnight? That fourth elder of the Lin family, Lin Tonghong, may very well be targeting our Yunxian restaurant. Fu said worriedly, if you are not at home, madam and the others, don't worry. Zhou Donghuang was not the least bit worried. With freezing wind around, even if that Lin Tonghong comes knocking, he will not be able to gain anything. Young master, that fourth elder of the Lin family, Lin Tonghong, is a level 3 adept of qi gathering. Fu reminded him. As far as he knew, Freezing Wind, the former second-in-command of Green Wolf Bastion, was an adept close to level 2 of qi gathering. I know. Zhou Donghuang nodded. But he is no match for Freezing Wind. No match for Freezing Wind. Hearing Zhou Donghuang's words, Fu's eyes were filled with shock and disbelief. Then, as if remembering something, he fell to his knees with a thud. Young master, Fu would like to practice with you. He did not dare doubt Zhou Donghuang's words in the slightest. Therefore, he had guessed at the first moment that Freezing Wind had most likely, with the help of his young master, become as powerful as Lin Tonghong. Last time, I wanted to impart techniques to you and give you the qi-gathering elixir to help you practice. Didn't you say that you did not need to trouble yourself? Why, now you want to practice again. Zhou Donghuang grinned mockingly. Hearing this, Fu felt a little awkward, and it was Zhou Donghuang who helped him resolve the awkwardness. When we return this time, I will impart techniques to you. Thank you, young master. Fu kowtowed repeatedly in gratitude, his face full of excitement. Today, his young master had single-handedly defeated the best of the 3 lesser families with a spear. He had been stunned the entire time. It should be known that those were the 3 elite lesser families of the prefecture capital. Just the name of those 3 lesser families was enough to scare everyone in Yunxian restaurant except him out of Yunxian restaurant. Even he did not think that his young master would be able to withstand the rage of those 3 elite lesser families. Only today, when his young master had defeated a group of people, including the most powerful of the three elite lesser families, Lu Qinghu, and the patriarch of the Ma family, Ma Tianba, had been killed by his young master with a single spear strike, did he realize how laughable his previous thinking had been. With the ability that young master has demonstrated today, young master would not even fear the preeminent Li family, Fu thought to himself. No wonder young master dared to cripple the level 2 adept of the Li family, and then killed the second young master of the Li family, Li Pingyun, and the 9th elder of the Li family, Li Yen. That night, Zhou Dongwang wrote a piece of paper for Fu to bring to Patriarch Lu Qinghu of the Lu family. The paper was filled with herbs, a small portion of which were herbs that the Grand Patriarch of the Qin family, Qin Yi, had not been able to purchase in the prefecture capital, and a portion of the herbs were even rarer herbs that could improve the quality of the qi-gathering elixir. Originally, Zhou Dongwang had planned to collect these herbs when the three elite lesser families sent the servant girls and waiters to Yunxian restaurant in Qingshan town. Unexpectedly, the next morning, just as he and Fu were about to leave the prefecture capital and return to Qingshan town, Lu Qinghu came personally to visit him. "Young Master Dongwang, here are all the herbs you requested. Here is 1,000,000 liang of silver." Lu Qinghu had come to deliver all the herbs that Zhou Dongwang had written out the day before, as well as the money that Zhou Dongwang had demanded from the three elite lesser families to buy their lives. Zhou Dongwang had not expected Lu Qinghu to be so efficient that he had gathered all the herbs he had requested overnight. However, looking at Lu Qinghu's bloodshot eyes, he knew that he had not slept the entire night. "Didn't the 6 of you have 900,000 liang of silver?" Zhou Dongwang asked calmly, not accepting the stack of 10,000 liang of silver that Lu Qinghu had handed him. "The remaining 100,000 liang of silver is a gift from the Lu family to young Master Dongwang," Lu Qinghu said with a smile, his posture extremely humble. "How much are these herbs?" Zhou Dongwang asked as he looked at the large pile of herbs that Lu Qinghu had placed on the table. "Young Master Dongwang, it's free." Lu Qinghu shook his head and waved his hands frantically. "These herbs are more precious, and they were all taken from the storehouses of the three families. The rest will have to be bought outside, and they are not worth much. You really know how to conduct yourself." Chapter 42. At the entrance of the inn, Lu Qinghu was still in a daze as he watched the Fergana horse pull the carriage away. "A lesser-grade attack technique, and a bottle of qi-gathering elixir that can help me break through the bottleneck?" He had seen the lesser-grade attack technique when the youth had written it out and handed it to him, and it was indeed real. Because of this, he knew that his choice was correct. It was better to be a friend than an enemy of this youth. "But can this bottle of qi-gathering elixir really help me break through the bottleneck of level 3 of qi-gathering? If I can break through that bottleneck, I can directly attain level 4 of qi-gathering." As he muttered to himself, Lu Qinghu took out a small medicine bottle from his pocket, his eyes filled with suspicion. It was not that he did not want to believe the youth, but that the youth's words were too frightening. As the first of the three elite lesser families of Yunfeng Prefecture, he was already at level 3 of qi-gathering and was only one step away from attaining level 4 of qi-gathering. But he had not been able to take that step. It was to the extent that over the years, that step had become a bottleneck that was difficult to overcome. "No matter what, I have to give it a try. What if it's true?" Although he did not really believe it, Lu Qinghu hurried back to the Lu family to his room and consumed the qi-gathering elixir that the youth had given him to practice. This qi-gathering elixir increases the sensitivity to qi by at least twofold. After consuming the qi-gathering elixir and practicing for a while, Lu Qinghu opened his eyes again, his eyes filled with shock and disbelief. "I remember, even the best qi-gathering elixir formulated by the superior-level medicine master of the imperial court of Yunyang could only increase the sensitivity to qi by twofold? And even the Lu family has no way of obtaining that kind of qi-gathering elixir, otherwise, I would have attained level 4 of qi gathering long ago. No wonder he said that this bottle of qi gathering elixir could help me break through the bottleneck and attain level 4 of qi gathering. This is a bottle of qi gathering elixir that can increase the sensitivity to qi by twofold. At this moment, Lu Qinghu no longer dared to doubt Zhou Donghuang's words. Even if he consumed a bottle of qi gathering elixir that could increase the sensitivity to qi by twofold, he would have a 70% chance of breaking through the bottleneck and attaining level 4 of qi gathering. Now, after taking a bottle of qi gathering elixir that doubled his sensitivity to qi, if he still could not break through, he might as well commit suicide by banging his head against a wall. One day and one night later. Ha 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 ha! A burst of hearty laughter came from the courtyard where Lu Qinghu's room was located. Very soon, the great elder of the Lu clan, Lu Pinglan, the second master of the Lu clan, Lu Bao, and 2 other Lu clan elders who lived nearby rushed over. I have already broken through to level 4 of qi gathering. When Lu Pinglan, Lu Bao, and the others arrived at Lu Qinghu's courtyard, Lu Qinghu had already come out of his room and said to them with a bright smile, "Congratulations, Patriarch! Congratulations, big brother!" Hearing Lu Qinghu's words, Lu Pinglan and the others were stunned at first, but when they regained their senses, they were overjoyed. The birth of a level 4 adept meant the birth of a preeminent family. From this day on, the Lu family would become a preeminent family. First elder and second brother, stay behind. Third elder, go to the Fong family and invite the patriarch of the Fong family over. Fourth elder, go to the Ma family and invite the new patriarch of the Ma family over. As soon as Lu Qinghu finished speaking, the 2 Lu clan elders took their orders and left. As they left, their faces were still filled with excitement. From this day on, they would no longer be elders of a lesser family. They would become elders of a preeminent family. Big brother, how did you suddenly break through? From what I know, you've been stuck at level 3 of qi gathering for many years, right? Although Lu Bao was extremely happy for his big brother's breakthrough, he still felt that it was too sudden. Patriarch, you did not sleep the entire night to collect herbs for Zhou Donghuang yesterday morning. I think you went to deliver those herbs and silver notes to Zhou Donghuang? Lu Pinglan looked at Lu Qinghu, her eyes flashing with uncertainty. Your breakthrough, could it have something to do with him? Head elder, if it did not have anything to do with him, why do you think I broke through now instead of at other times? Lu Qinghu asked with a smile. Without waiting for Lu Pinglan and Lu Bao to speak, he took out a piece of paper from his pocket and handed it to them. Take a look. Lu Pinglan and Lu Bao took the paper, and with just a glance, they were attracted by the words on it. Lesser weighted sand palm, a lesser grade palm technique? A moment later, after confirming that the words recorded on the paper were indeed a lesser grade martial art, both Lu Pinglan and Lu Bao's faces were flushed with excitement. Patriarch, could this be? Lu Pinglan raised her head to look at Lu Qinghu, speaking with some difficulty. Before she could finish, Lu Qinghu interrupted. That's right. This technique was given to me by Zhou Donghuang. Obviously, Lu Qinghu knew what Lu Pinglan was about to ask. Furthermore, the reason I was able to successfully break through the bottleneck and attain level 4 of qi gathering in a short day and night was also because he gave me a bottle of qi gathering elixir. Lu Qinghu continued. Could it be that he even has the qi gathering elixir formulated by the superior level medicine master of the imperial family that can double the sensitivity to qi? Lu Pinglan turned pale with fright. A qi-gathering elixir that could double the sensitivity to qi? Hearing Lu Pinglan's words, Lu Qinghu snorted disdainfully. What young Master Donghuang had given him was not some qi-gathering elixir that could double the sensitivity to qi. But on this matter, he did not say much, because he knew that the more he said, the more likely it was to slip up. A lesser-grade technique was fine, as it was the standard of a preeminent family. Even if a preeminent family did not have a technique, They could send a level 4 adept of Qi gathering from the royal family to request a lesser grade technique from the royal family. Of course, they could only request a lesser grade offensive technique or a lesser grade defensive technique from the royal family. Only a preeminent family with a level 5 adept of Qi gathering could request a lesser grade swiftness technique from the royal family. But a Qi gathering elixir that could double the sensitivity to Qi was different. Once it was exposed, even the imperial family would not be able to sit still. Young Master Donghuang gave me such a precious bottle of Qi gathering elixir to help me break through. It was a great favor. I definitely cannot let the fact that he can produce such a grade of Qi gathering elixir get out and harm him. This was what Lu Qinghu thought. Not just Lu Pinglan, the head elder of the Lu family, but he did not even intend to tell his younger brother, Lu Bao, about this. From today onwards, anyone in the Lu family who dares to offend young Master Donghuang, regardless of whether they are from the collateral line or the main line, will be killed without mercy. Lu Qinghu declared solemnly in front of Lu Pinglan and Lu Bao. Just as the Lu family had become a preeminent family with the birth of a level 4 adept of Qi gathering, the entire Lu family household was decorated with lanterns and streamers, and the atmosphere was joyous. The atmosphere in the household of the Li family, which was also a preeminent family, was at the other extreme. This was because the second young master of the Li family, Li Pingyun, was dead, and so was the 9th elder of the Li family, Li Yan. Li Yan's death was not a big deal, as he was only a level 3 adept, and with his talent, he had no hope of attaining level 4 of Qi gathering. But Li Pingyun was different. As the son of the patriarch of the Li family, Li Jingyu, Li Pingyun was extremely talented, and it was only a matter of time before he attained level 4 of Qi gathering. Furthermore, the second young master of the Li family, Li Pingyun, was the next patriarch of the Li family. However, such a person was now dead. Who did it? In the spacious front yard of the Li family household, the patriarch of the Li family, Li Jingyu, stared at the curly-bearded man kneeling on the ground. His voice was so cold that it seemed to cause the surrounding temperature to drop by several degrees. Li Jingyu was a middle-aged man dressed in a green robe. He was of medium build, had handsome features, and had the dignified air of someone who had held a high position for a long time. Many of the elders of the Li family were present, and their expressions were ugly. Killing the second young master of the Li family was no different from giving the Li family a resounding slap in the face. This was a great humiliation. Some of the Li family juniors were watching from afar. The second young master is dead? Li Rue was also among the juniors of the Li family. She had lost all color in her face, and she could not believe what she was seeing. How could the second young master be dead? She had wanted to hook up with the second young master and become a phoenix. With the death of the second young master, her dreams were shattered. "Father!" With a heart-wrenching scream, a figure rushed to the side of the already smelly corpse of the 9th elder of the Li family, Li Yan. It was Li Yan's son, Li Hui. "Patriarch, it's Zhou Donghuang. It's the owner of Yunxian restaurant in Qingshan town, Zhou Donghuang," the curly-bearded man said in a trembling voice. "He killed the second young master and the 9th elder some time ago. Because he was heading towards the prefecture capital, I did not dare to return, afraid that I would meet him on the road. Although I could have returned secretly to report the matter, I was also worried that the bodies of the second young master and the 9th elder would have been eaten by wild beasts. It was only today, when I saw his carriage leaving at the main gates of the prefecture capital, that I dared to return with the bodies of the second young master and the 9th elder," the curly-bearded man said. "Zhou Donghuang." Both Li Rue and Li Hui were stunned when they heard the curly-bearded man mention the name, Zhou Donghuang. After a moment, both of them regained their senses and shouted in unison, "Impossible!" Their voices successfully attracted everyone's attention. "Why is it impossible?" Li Jingyu looked at Li Hui, his gaze sharp. patriarch, the owner of Yunxian restaurant in Qingshan town, Zhou Dongwang, is a martial invalid. He has no way of killing my father and the second young master. Li Hui said. Furthermore, even if he is not a martial invalid, do you think that a youth who has just turned 17 has the ability to kill my father and the second young master? Li Hui asked Li Jingyu in return. Patriarch. Chapter 43. January 15, 1228 of the Ziyun era. As night fell, a carriage drawn by Fergana horses entered Qingshan town from the outskirts of Qingshan town, unsurprisingly attracting the attention of a crowd of passers-by. The person driving the carriage was chief steward of Yunxian restaurant, Fu, and many people recognized him. Chief steward Fu of Yunxian restaurant left with the owner of Yunxian restaurant, young master Dongwang. More than 10 days ago. Has he just returned? Gone for so long. Have they gone to the prefecture capital? They must have gone to the prefecture capital. Because of the incident with the 3 elite lesser families of the prefecture capital, Yunxian restaurant has not been able to reopen. If they want to reopen, they will definitely have to go to the 3 lesser families of the prefecture capital to discuss this matter with them. How will they discuss this matter? Young Master Dongwang crippled the sons of the 3 lesser families' patriarchs, and even if young Master Dongwang gave Yunxian restaurant away, the 3 elite lesser families might not be willing to let the matter rest, right? Moreover, young Master Dongwang's strong personality does not seem like someone who would back down. I also think that even if young Master Dongwang went to the prefecture capital, he would definitely not go to the 3 elite lesser families. He most likely went to find Elder Zhao San. That should be the case. If Elder Zhao San is willing to step in, this matter will not be difficult to resolve. Until now, I still cannot understand. Why would Elder Zhao San give Yunxian restaurant to Zhou Dongwang? As the crowd of Qingshan town speculated, Fu drove the carriage back to the courtyard behind Yunxian restaurant. Mother. As soon as he reached home, Zhou Dongwang went to look for Lin Lan, who was not practicing and was in the backyard familiarizing herself with the martial arts techniques. Dongwang is back. Seeing Zhou Dongwang return, Lin Lan's serious expression relaxed, and she smiled like a flower. Mother, I saw that you demonstrated the star-stepping footwork just now, and it looks like you will be able to completely master it soon. Zhou Dongwang smiled. Mother knows my standard, it is far from freezing winds. Lin Lan shook his head. As she spoke, Lin Lan seemed to think of something, and she looked at Zhou Dongwang solemnly. Dongwang, Mother hopes that you can help Mother stimulate the maximum strength of my muscles. I have only recovered my previous level of practice after switching to the technique of everlasting youth, and even if I practice the 2 techniques you gave me, I can only hold my own against a level 2 adept for a short period of time. And if I can stimulate the maximum strength of my muscles, Mother's ability will be comparable to that of an ordinary level 3 adept. Lin Lan's eyes were full of desire. He told Mother? Zhou Dongwang furrowed his brows slightly. He had not expected Freezing Wind to tell his mother about activating his maximum muscle strength. Don't blame him. Mother forced him to say it. Lin Lan said, the day before yesterday, the 4th elder of the Lin family, Lin Tonghong, came to our door and kept asking us to hand over Yunxian restaurant. In the end, he was defeated by Han Feng and left dejectedly. It was also at that time that I realized that Han Feng actually possessed such great strength. And as far as I know, before he chose to follow you, he had not even attained level 2 of Qi gathering. I interrogated him again, and he finally said that all his strength came from you. At this point, Lin Lan looked at Zhou Dongwang with bright eyes. Dongwang, if Han Feng can endure pain, so can Mother. Mother. Zhou Dongwang sighed. That method can only be used on men, and it is closely related to the structure of a man's body. And you are not a man, so even if you used that method, it would not have helped. Really? Lin Lan did not quite believe it, and her gaze was fixed on Zhou Dongwang's face, as if trying to find any trace of deception on his face. However, Zhou Donghuang, who had experienced the vicissitudes of 1,000 years, had long been trained to be as calm as an ancient well, and how could he let Lin Lan discover that he was lying? The pain that Freezing Wind had endured was not something that an ordinary person could endure. It was not that he felt that Lin Lan could not endure that kind of pain, but he did not want her to suffer, because there was no need. After chatting with Lin Lan for a while, Zhou Donghuang left the backyard and returned to his room. Not long after he returned to his room, Freezing Wind came looking for him. There are some things that I do not want my mother to know, because I am afraid she will overthink in the future. I do not wish for the same thing to happen again. Zhou Donghuang sat upright at the table, staring coldly at Freezing Wind. Freezing Wind was so frightened that he fell to his knees with a thud. "Young master, I was wrong. I promise there will not be a next time." Zhou Donghuang's expression softened and he asked calmly, "I heard from my mother that the fourth elder of the Lin family of the prefecture capital, Lin Tonghong, came here and you defeated him?" "Young master, that is exactly why I came." Freezing Wind's expression turned serious. "Although I defeated that Lin Tonghong, it took me a lot of effort. Among level 3 adepts of Qi gathering, his ability should be considered strong." Zhou Donghuang was not surprised to hear Freezing Wind mention this. As the fourth elder of the preeminent Lin family of the prefecture capital, Lin Tonghong's ability was naturally extraordinary, far beyond that of the ninth elder of the Li family, Li Yen, who had died at his hands. Of course, he was not surprised that Freezing Wind could defeat Lin Tonghong. With Freezing Wind's current ability, in Yunfeng Prefecture, as long as he did not make a move, no one below level 4 of Qi gathering could defeat him. "I wanted to kill him, but Madame stopped me." At this point, Freezing Wind's eyes flashed coldly. "Young master, if you want him dead, I can catch up with him on my Fergana horse and kill him before he reaches the prefecture capital." He came to Qingshan town in a carriage, and I have an impression of the coachman who drove the carriage for him. I can recognize the carriage he was in. Freezing Wind had come to Zhou Donghuang to ask if he needed him to kill Lin Tonghong. "No need." Zhou Donghuang shook his head, and his eyes flashed coldly. "Even if he wants to die quickly, I'm not too willing." From his point of view, killing Lin Tonghong would be an act of mercy. He intended to play with Lin Tonghong and make him pay the price of embezzling his formula. "Young master, you have a grudge against him?" Freezing Wind was stunned. "A grudge? Is he even worthy?" Zhou Donghuang smiled disdainfully. Following that, Zhou Donghuang instructed Freezing Wind to help him retrieve the herbs he had stored in the storeroom. He wanted to formulate an even better Qi gathering elixir. With the herbs that Lu Qinghu had helped him collect, he would be able to formulate an even better Qi gathering elixir, and his rate of practice would increase. An hour after Freezing Wind had retrieved the herbs, Zhou Donghuang had formulated 100 bottles of a new Qi gathering elixir. The new Qi gathering elixir could increase the sensitivity to Qi by 6 times. The herbs that the old chief of the Qin family, Qin Yi, had brought back from the prefecture capital had only allowed Zhou Donghuang to formulate a Qi gathering elixir that increased the sensitivity to Qi by 4 times. The new Qi gathering elixir that he had formulated now was 50% more effective than the previous one. With this new Qi gathering elixir, I will definitely attain level 3 of Qi gathering in half a month. Zhou Donghuang's mouth curled up in a rare smile. When Freezing Wind received the new Qi gathering elixir from Zhou Donghuang, he was stunned. Six times the sensitivity to Qi? Previously, when Zhou Donghuang had given him a Qi gathering elixir that increased the sensitivity to Qi by 4 times, he had thought he was dreaming. The best Qi gathering elixir in the country of Yunyang could only increase the sensitivity to Qi by 1 time. "Next, I have a task for you." Zhou Donghuang said a few more words to Freezing Wind, and Freezing Wind left Qingshan town on his Fergana horse that very night. After Freezing Wind left, Zhou Dongwang went to look for Fu and imparted the fiery thunder training regimen to him. Of course, he only imparted the portion for the stage of qi gathering. As for the rest, he would slowly impart it to Fu when his level of practice was sufficient. Fu's martial talent was indeed average, but with Zhou Dongwang's guidance, even a wild chicken would one day become a phoenix. Zhou Dongwang was very confident of this. "Thank you, young master." Fu knelt down excitedly and kowtowed repeatedly. "Practice well. I hope you can catch up to freezing wind soon." After leaving Fu with 10 bottles of the latest qi-gathering elixir, Zhou Dongwang left Fu's room and returned to his own room to practice. He had high hopes for Fu, or he would not have imparted the fiery thunder training regimen to him. Fiery thunder training regimen, like the 7-star sword technique, was one of the best techniques among the thousands of races in the universe. After returning to Qingshan town this time, Zhou Dongwang focused on practicing and breaking through to level 3 of qi gathering. However, 2 days later, while he was focused on practicing, he was startled awake by Fu. "Young master, Chief Lu is here." "Lu Qinghu?" Zhou Dongwang was a little surprised. "Now, it seems like there are still 4 days until the day I agreed to meet with them?" Walking out of the room, Zhou Dongwang saw not only Lu Qinghu but also the chief of the Fang family, Fang Jishan, and the Ma family that he had met previously in the Lu family drawing room. Lu Qinghu still looked thin and weak, but his eyes shone brightly, and he seemed full of vitality. "You've broken through?" Zhou Dongwang looked at Lu Qinghu and smiled lightly. "Many thanks to young Master Dongwang for giving me a new lease on life." Lu Qinghu bowed 90 degrees and thanked Zhou Dongwang sincerely. Even though he had already attained level 4 of qi gathering, he was still very humble in front of Zhou Dongwang. Fang Jishan, chief of the Fang family, pays his respects to young Master Dongwang. Ma Dongfeng, chief of the Ma family, pays his respects to young Master Dongwang. At this time, the 2 people standing behind Lu Qinghu also bowed respectfully to Zhou Dongwang, and they did so at a 90-degree angle. "Young Master Dongwang, this is the treasure of the Fang family that has been passed down for 6 generations, the ice jade hairpin. The ice jade on it is 100-year-old ice jade, and it has the effect of calming the heart. It is a gift from the Fang family to Madam," Fang Jishan said respectfully as he handed over the exquisite box in his hand. "Young Master Dongwang, the Ma family does not have a treasure like the Fang family's ice jade hairpin. Here are 200,000 liang of silver, please accept it." Chapter 44. Seeing that Zhou Dongwang only looked quietly at Fang Jishan and Ma Dongfeng without saying a word, Lu Qinghu said to Zhou Dongwang, "Young Master Dongwang, please accept it. They are doing this to thank you for the lesser-weighted sand palm." Obviously, the technique that Zhou Dongwang had given to Lu Qinghu a few days ago had been shared with the Fang and Ma families. "Fu!" As soon as Zhou Dongwang spoke, Fu, who was standing at the side, stepped forward to accept the gifts and money that Fang Jishan and Ma Dongfeng had given him. "Chief Fang, Chief Ma, please go out and organize the people we have brought. Young Master Dongwang and I will go over in a moment," Lu Qinghu said to Fang Jishan and Ma Dongfeng. "All right." Fang Jishan and Zhou Dongwang respectfully bade farewell to Zhou Dongwang before leaving the room. Seeing how Lu Qinghu had attained level 4 of qi gathering and led the Lu family to become a preeminent family because of his efforts to curry favor with Zhou Dongwang, both Fang Jishan and Ma Dongfeng were naturally envious. Because of this, they also wanted to curry favor with Zhou Dongwang. However, they were also clear that in Zhou Dongwang's eyes, their status was definitely not as high as Lu Qinghu's. Now that Lu Qinghu had asked them to leave, whether it was because of Lu Qinghu's current ability or because of their image in front of Zhou Dongwang, even if they wanted to stay and cultivate their relationship with Zhou Dongwang, they did not dare to stay. Soon, only Zhou Dongwang, Fu, and Lu Qinghu were left in the huge front yard. "Young Master Dongwang, I know that ordinary things are no longer worthy of your attention in the future. If you have any errands for me, just say the word, and I, Lu Qinghu, and even the entire Lu family, will do anything for you without hesitation. Lu Qinghu said respectfully to Zhou Donghuang, and what he had said was equivalent to submitting the entire Lu family to Zhou Donghuang. Just because I gave you a lesser-grade technique and a bottle of qi-gathering elixir that can help you attain level 4 of qi-gathering, you will submit the preeminent Lu family to me? Zhou Donghuang glanced at Lu Qinghu and asked meaningfully. Young Master Donghuang, it is all thanks to you that the Lu family can become a preeminent family. I, Lu Qinghu, know my own limitations. If not for the qi-gathering elixir you gave me, I would never have been able to break through to level 4 of qi-gathering in my life. Lu Qinghu said seriously. In the cultivation of the martial Tao, the further one progressed, the more difficult it became. In the end, it was even harder than ascending to the heavens. Lu Qinghu's father, the previous patriarch of the Lu family, had attained level 3 of qi-gathering at about the same age as him, but he had never attained level 4 of qi-gathering in his entire life. His father's greatest regret when he was alive was that he did not have the opportunity to obtain a bottle of qi-gathering elixir that could double the sensitivity to qi. Otherwise, he had a 90% chance of attaining level 4 of qi-gathering and leading the Lu family to become a preeminent family. Lu Qinghu knew that if not for the bottle of qi-gathering elixir that Zhou Donghuang had given him, he would most likely have followed in his father's footsteps. I was the one who gave you that lesser-grade martial art. Why did you give it to the Fang clan and the Ma clan? Zhou Donghuang asked Lu Qinghu as he picked up the teacup on the table and sipped on it. Young Master Donghuang, those herbs were provided by our 3 families together. Therefore, I felt that they should have a share of the martial art that you gave them. As Lu Qinghu spoke, he bowed again to apologize. However, I did not receive young Master Donghuang's permission to pass on the martial art to them, and that was overstepping my authority. Please forgive me, young Master Donghuang. You're doing this for me to see, right? Zhou Donghuang looked deeply into Lu Qinghu's eyes. His piercing gaze seemed to penetrate Lu Qinghu's heart, and Lu Qinghu's expression turned awkward. Indeed, a large part of the reason he had done so was to show Zhou Donghuang. He had wanted to use this incident to tell Zhou Donghuang that he, Lu Qinghu, was not someone who would forget his root. You are an intelligent person, Zhou Donghuang said. Otherwise, I would not have given you that bottle of qi-gathering elixir before I left the prefecture capital. After all, if word of the efficacy of that bottle of qi-gathering elixir were to spread, it would cause a huge uproar in the country of Yunyang. You did not tell anyone about the efficacy of that bottle of qi-gathering elixir, did you? Zhou Donghuang asked unhurriedly as he stared at Lu Qinghu. Young Master Donghuang, because I knew how precious and special that bottle of qi-gathering elixir was, I did not dare mention its efficacy to anyone else. Lu Qinghu nodded hurriedly. Even to my brother Lu Bao, I only told him that young Master Donghuang had given me a bottle of qi-gathering elixir that doubled the sensitivity to qi. A qi-gathering elixir that doubled the sensitivity to qi. If word of this got out, the whole country of Yunyang would be turned upside down. As he spoke, Lu Qinghu's expression became serious. Young Master Donghuang, you have given me a new lease on life. I naturally would not harm you. Zhou Donghuang nodded his head in satisfaction and looked at Fu. Fu, prepare 10 bottles of qi-gathering elixir that doubled the sensitivity to qi, and give them to Chief Lu later. Yes, young master. Fu left with the order. 10 bottles? Lu Qinghu's eyes lit up and his breathing quickened. He had thought that even the youth in front of him did not have many of those qi-gathering elixirs. He did not expect the youth to give him 10 bottles in just a few words. What he did not know was that these qi-gathering elixirs were merely the ones that Zhou Donghuang had eliminated, and even Fu did not use them. Thank you, young Master Donghuang. Lu Qinghu thanked Zhou Donghuang respectfully. There is one more thing I need you to do. Zhou Dongwang took out a piece of paper and handed it to Lu Qinghu. This is the formula for the qi-gathering elixir. It is the same efficacy as the qi-gathering elixirs on the market. With this qi-gathering elixir, your Lu family can monopolize the qi-gathering elixir market in Yunfeng Prefecture. Monopolize the qi-gathering elixir market in Yunfeng Prefecture? Lu Qinghu took the formula doubtfully. With just one look, his face was full of shock. With these cheap herbs, you can formulate a qi-gathering elixir that increases the sensitivity to qi by 50%? The formula for the qi-gathering elixir on the market that increased the sensitivity to qi by 50% was no secret. As long as it was a lesser family or above, they could request it from the king's household. However, the herbs needed for the formula for the qi-gathering elixir were rare and expensive. The cost of these herbs, it is not even 1/10 of the cost of the herbs for the qi-gathering elixir on the market, but the resulting qi-gathering elixir has the same efficacy? Lu Qinghu looked at Zhou Dongwang in disbelief. He could not believe that he could formulate the qi-gathering elixir on the market with such cheap herbs. I will provide the formula, and I will not take much of the profits. You pay for the herbs and manpower, but I want 50% of the profits, Zhou Dongwang said. Even if he had asked for 70 or 80% of the profits, Lu Qinghu would not have had any objections. But that wasn't his style. Young Master Dongwang, our Lu family only wants 20% of the profits. This is a profitable business, and we will definitely make a profit, Lu Qinghu said. Even if they only wanted 20% of the profits, the Lu family would still earn a lot, far more than selling the qi-gathering elixirs on the market, because this qi-gathering elixir could monopolize the entire market in Yunfeng Prefecture. If I say 50%, it means 50%. If you are not willing, I will find someone else, Zhou Dongwang said lightly. Qinghu thanks young Master Dongwang on behalf of the Lu family. As Lu Qinghu bowed to Zhou Dongwang once again to express his gratitude, there was a subtle look of respect in his eyes. Have you brought all the servant girls and waiters that I asked you to? Zhou Dongwang asked Lu Qinghu. The main reason he had gone to the prefecture capital the last time was to reopen Yunxian restaurant so that his mother, Lin Lan, would not have to worry about it. Yes, they are outside. Lu Qinghu nodded profusely. With the servant girls and waiters that the Lu, Fang, and Ma families had brought, Yunxian restaurant quickly reopened, and an announcement was made that it would officially open the next day. When the people of Qingshan town found out that the new servant girls and waiters were all from the Lu, Fang, and Ma families of the prefecture capital, they even thought that Yunxian restaurant had changed owners. It was only when they saw Zhou Dongwang appear and the patriarchs of the Lu, Fang, and Ma families standing respectfully behind him that they realized that Yunxian restaurant had not changed owners. No one suspected that the patriarchs of the three big families were impostors. In Yunfeng Prefecture, the families and individuals who were more powerful than these three families would not deign to impersonate them, and the families and individuals who were not as powerful did not have the guts to do so. The previous chefs of Yunxian restaurant returned to Yunxian restaurant that day, and many servant girls and waiters who had received the news also returned. Yunxian restaurant opened for business smoothly the next day. Because of the 50% discount, the doorzil of Yunxian restaurant was almost trampled to pieces by the customers who came and went. Young Master Dongwang, farewell. Lu Qinghu, Fang Jishan, and Ma Dongfeng also bid farewell to Zhou Dongwang on the evening of the opening of Yunxian restaurant. Riding on the back of his Fergana horse, Lu Qinghu held a brocade box in his hand, his face ruddy and radiant. Inside the brocade box were 10 bottles of qi-gathering elixir that Zhou Dongwang had given him, which could double the sensitivity to qi. With these qi-gathering elixirs, his level of practice would be able to increase rapidly. The smooth opening of Yunxian restaurant shocked many people of Qingshan town, especially the 3 lesser families of Qingshan town, who were completely dumbfounded. That youth is clearly a dragon, but you all treat him like a worm. Now, do you regret it? In the Qin family household, the grand patriarch of the Qin family, Qin Yi, looked at the Qin family patriarch, Qin Long, and the first young master of the Qin family, Qin Fei, and gave a long sigh. The Qin family had been on good terms with that youth, and there was hope that they would rise to greater heights in the future. But all of this had been ruined by the Qin family. At the same time, in the Wang family household, the patriarch of the Wang family, Red Crane Wang, looked indignant. That little brute, how could he have made the patriarchs of the three lesser families bow and scrape before him? Big brother. Just then, the second master of the Wang family, Bamboo Crane Wang, said with a bitter smile, I just received news. The Lu family of the prefecture capital is no longer a lesser family. The patriarch of the Lu family, Lu Qinghu, has attained level 4 of Qi gathering, and the Lu family has become a preeminent family. Chapter 45. A level 4 adept of Qi gathering? Hearing Bamboo Crane Wang's words, Red Crane Wang was dumbstruck, and it took him a moment to recover his wits, muttering to himself, that little bastard, who is he? A level 4 adept of Qi gathering, even in the prefecture capital of Yunfeng Prefecture, would be a major figure, capable of supporting a preeminent family. And such a person had come all the way from the prefecture capital to Qingshan town to support the reopening of Zhou Donghuang's Yunxian restaurant? I feel that it doesn't matter who he is, all we need to know is that he is someone we cannot afford to offend in this lifetime. Bamboo Crane Wang said with a bitter smile. A level 4 adept whose son has had one of his legs crippled by Zhou Donghuang is still able to bow and scrape before Zhou Donghuang. This is enough to say a lot. That is the chief of the Lu family of the prefecture capital, Lu Qinghu. The Lu, Ma, and Fang families, the three great lesser families, were able to gain a foothold under the watchful eyes of the preeminent families in the prefecture capital. Not all of it was due to him, but at least half of it was due to him. As an inferior-level medicine master, Bamboo Crane Wang often went to the prefecture capital, and he naturally knew that Lu Qinghu was a very formidable person. The Zhong family household. How can this be? The three siblings, Zhong Gang, Zhong Yi, and Zhong Xiu, gathered together again. They looked at each other and saw the look of disbelief in each other's eyes. Zhou Donghuang named the sons of the chiefs of the three elite lesser families, and not only did they not seek revenge on Zhou Donghuang, they even sent servants and waiters to Zhou Donghuang, and they came all the way to Qingshan town to support the reopening of Yunxian restaurant? This news was unbelievable to the three of them, and they felt as if they were living in a dream. All three of you are here? Just in time. A tall, bald, middle-aged man in a gray robe walked into the courtyard where the three of them were. He had a ferocious look on his face. Father. The three of them bowed respectfully to the newcomer. From the way they addressed the newcomer, it was obviously the chief of the Zhong family, Zhong Yun. I heard that the three of you have some problems with the owner of Yunxian restaurant, Zhou Donghuang? Zhong Yun stared at the three of them, and his expression darkened. Father, we only joked with him a little, Zhong Gang said hesitantly. Without waiting for Zhong Yi and Zhong Xiu to speak, Zhong Yun glanced coldly at the three of them. From now on, whenever you see him, you must respectfully address him as young Master Donghuang, and act as cowardly as you can. If I find out that you dare to disrespect him again, don't blame me for ripping off your skin. After coldly leaving behind these words, Zhong Yun flicked his sleeves and left, leaving Zhong Gang, Zhong Yi, and Zhong Xiu speechless. I really can't figure it out. How did a martial invalid, who was like a wild chicken, suddenly become a phoenix? Zhong Xiu said angrily. Her tone was filled with unwillingness. Now, Zhong Xiu's mood was similar to that of a person who had been trampled under her feet in the past. But she had suddenly turned the tables and stepped on her. After Yunxian restaurant reopened, Zhou Donghuang's life returned to normal, and all he did was practice. In this period of time, the Li family that Zhou Donghuang had thought would come looking for him did not, as if they had completely disappeared. But, on second thought, Zhou Dongwang was relieved. After the reopening of Yunxian restaurant, Lu Qinghu, the patriarch of the Lu family, who had attained level 4 of qi gathering and had led the Lu family to become a preeminent family, had come all the way to Qingshan town to support him, as if he had completely forgotten that Zhou Dongwang had crippled his son's leg. It was not difficult for the Li family to know about this, and this incident was enough to make the Li family fearful of him, and they did not dare to act rashly. On the last day of the month, January 31st, 1228 of the Ziyun era, Zhou Dongwang successfully attained level 3 of qi gathering and became a level 3 adept with the strength of 3 bulls. Of course, the strength of 3 bulls was only the strength that his qi gave him. His maximum muscle strength was more than 1,000 jin, and the strength that he could now exert was comparable to that of an ordinary level 4 adept. With his various techniques, he would not be afraid even if he were to face an ordinary level 5 adept. "Mother, have you ever thought of returning to the Lin family in the prefecture capital?" Zhou Dongwang asked. With his current ability, even if he went to the prefecture capital, he would be able to hold his own. But he knew that his mother could not let go of her status as a member of the Lin family. "Dongwang, the patriarch has ordered. I, Lin Lan, am not to step foot into the Lin family without being summoned by the family." Lin Lan smiled bitterly. The Lin family of the prefecture capital was her home, and if she had a choice, how could she have left home to wander the world? It was precisely because her martial talent was average and she was a collateral descendant that the Lin family had sent her to Qingshan town to be in charge of setting up and running the business. In the eyes of the Lin family, she was only a money-making tool, and as long as there was value to be extracted from her, she would not be allowed to return to the Lin family to rest. "Mother, the patriarch of the Lin family gave such an order because he did not know that after you leaked the formula for the Lin family's blood-staunching elixir, you gave the Lin family an even better formula." Zhou Donghuang's eyes flashed. "This time, I will accompany you back and help you clear your name. As long as we clear your name, even the patriarch of the Lin family will not be able to find any excuse to prevent you from returning to the Lin family." After attaining level 3 of qi gathering, Zhou Dongwang planned to leave Qingshan town and settle down in the prefecture capital. Compared to Qingshan town, the prefecture capital was much more convenient. "Dongwang, are you confident?" Lin Lan was tempted, but she could not help but worry. "If I am not confident, Mother can wait a little longer. Mother, if I am not confident, I will not speak to you about this." Zhou Dongwang shook his head and smiled. "All right, Mother will go back with you." Lin Lan's eyes lit up, and the gloom that had been buried in her heart for so long dissipated at this moment, as if the sky had cleared after a storm. Seeing that Lin Lan had agreed, Zhou Dongwang instructed Fu to make preparations. Now, Fu was busy practicing, and he had handed over the position of chief steward of Yunxian restaurant to the leader of the group of waiters and servant girls from the 3 main families, a collateral descendant of the Lu family named Lu Qing. Although she was a woman, she was very capable and meticulous. Usually, besides practicing, Fu would stay in the courtyard behind Yunxian restaurant and await Zhou Donghuang's instructions. "Fu, you must have attained level 1 of qi gathering, right?" Just as Fu was about to leave, Zhou Donghuang asked him. He estimated that even if Fu's talent was average, he should have attained level 1 of qi gathering by relying on the supreme technique of the universe, Fiery Thunder Training Regimen, and the qi gathering elixir that increased the sensitivity to qi by 6 times. "Young master, I attained level 1 of qi gathering 6 days ago." Fu smiled sheepishly. "Not bad." Zhou Donghuang nodded. "To be able to break through in such a short time shows that you have worked hard and have not been lazy. All right, go and make your preparations, we will leave Qingshan town tomorrow." Fu was immediately overwhelmed by Zhou Donghuang's praise, and as he prepared to leave Qingshan town, it was as if there was a gust of wind as he walked. As they were leaving the next day, Zhou Dongwang made a trip to the Qin family household. Although the grand patriarch of the Qin family, Qin Yi, and the patriarch of the Qin family, Qin Long, came out to welcome him, he remained indifferent. "I'm here to look for Xiaoyu." Under the bitter gaze of Qin Yi and Qin Long, Zhou Dongwang found Qin Xiaoyu, and coincidentally, her father, Qin Zhen, was also present. "Big brother Dongwang, you are leaving Qingshan town?" Hearing that Zhou Dongwang was leaving the next day, the little girl immediately burst into tears. Her tears fell like rain, and no amount of coaxing worked. "Big brother Dongwang, can you not leave? If you leave, it will be very difficult for Xiaoyu to see you again." "Silly girl, as long as you want to see me, you can go to the prefecture capital at any time. When the time comes, you can ask Chief Steward Lu Qing of Yunxian Restaurant to make the arrangements." Zhou Dongwang stroked Qin Xiaoyu's head and smiled. "As for Lu Qing, I will get Fu to inform him first." "Really?" Only then did Qin Xiaoyu stop crying. "Even if you don't believe me, you should at least believe your father, right?" Zhou Dongwang looked at Qin Zhen, who was standing at the side, and smiled. "Uncle Zhen, if Xiaoyu wants to go to the prefecture capital, you can go with her." "Yes, young Master Dongwang." Qin Zhen acknowledged respectfully. "Uncle Zhen, in front of me, you don't have to be reserved, and you don't have to call me young Master Dongwang. Just call me Dongwang like before." Zhou Dongwang smiled bitterly. "Yes, young Master Dongwang." Qin Zhen's words left Zhou Dongwang completely exasperated, but he did not say anything more. He knew that now that the three chiefs of the Lu, Ma, and Fang families had come to Qingshan town, his position in Qin Zhen's eyes was completely different. After bidding farewell to Qin Xiaoyu, Zhou Dongwang was personally escorted out of the Qin family household by Qin Yi and Qin Long. Whether in the process of entering or leaving, Zhou Dongwang did not mention to Qin Yi or Qin Long that they should take care of Qin Xiaoyu. With his current position in the eyes of Qin Yi and Qin Long, even if he did not say anything, they would know what to do. On the morning of the first day of February 1228 of the Ziyun era, a carriage pulled by a Fergana horse left Qingshan town and headed towards the prefecture capital of Yunfeng Prefecture. From the moment they left Qingshan town, Lin Lan had been pulling open the curtains of the carriage. She watched as Qingshan town became smaller and smaller, until it finally disappeared at the end of the road and before her eyes. Only then did she close the curtains again and sigh. "Mother, if you want to come back in the future, we can come back anytime." Zhou Dongwang comforted her. "Actually, there's nothing to miss, after all, the Magnolia Guild is gone. I just want to take a few more looks at this small town that I've been in for more than 10 years. Lin Lan shook her head and smiled. "Dongwang, where's Freezing Wind? Ever since you returned from the prefecture capital half a month ago, I haven't seen him." This time, Lin Lan had not seen Freezing Wind at the prefecture capital, and she could not help but frown. Did you chase him away because he told Mother about that matter? How could that be?" Chapter 46. On the 5th of February, 1228 of the Ziyun era, as night fell and the lanterns were lit, Zhou Dongwang's carriage entered the capital city of Yunfeng Prefecture. Inside the carriage, Lin Lan opened the curtains and looked at the bustling streets of the capital, her eyes filled with excitement. "Dongwang, do you see that street? When I was young, I loved to eat the candied haws sold by an auntie at the end of that street. Dongwang, that uncle's barbecue stall has been open for more than 20 years. Dongwang." As they walked along the streets of the capital, Lin Lan introduced them to Zhou Dongwang as if she was familiar with them, and Zhou Dongwang smiled and nodded as he listened patiently. "Young master, shall we go to the Lu family first?" Fu's voice came from outside the carriage asking Zhou Dongwang. Zhou Dongwang responded and said to Lin Lan, "Mother, it's already late, let's stay at the Lu family for the night. Tomorrow, I'll accompany you back to the Lin family." "To the Lu family? Wouldn't that be too troublesome?" Lin Lan frowned slightly. "Why don't we find an inn to stay at tonight?" Mother, you don't have to worry about that. The chief of the Lu family, Lu Qinghu, would love nothing more than for me to trouble him. Zhou Dongwang shook his head with a smile. Just as Zhou Dongwang had said, when Lu Qinghu knew of Zhou Dongwang's arrival, he came out personally to welcome him. Head elder Lu Pinglan and second elder Lu Bao of the Lu family also came out to welcome him. Young Master Dongwang. After bowing to Zhou Dongwang, Lu Qinghu and the others hurriedly bowed respectfully to Lin Lan. Greetings, madam. Lin Lan was not used to this. Not long ago, she had already found out that Lu Qinghu had attained level 4 of Qi gathering and had led the Lu family to become a preeminent family. Lu Qinghu's current status in Yanshan Prefecture was equivalent to that of the chief of the Lin family. But such a person had actually bowed to her? Only now did she realize that her son Zhou Donghuang's abilities had completely exceeded her imagination. Under Lu Qinghu's personal arrangements, Zhou Dongwang and his entourage moved into the Lu family household and were given 2 spacious courtyards. Every courtyard had a few rooms. Lin Lan and Granny Lian stayed in one courtyard, while Zhou Dongwang and Fu stayed in the other. The 2 courtyards were adjacent to each other. Unfilial son, aren't you going to kneel and apologize to young Master Dongwang? Zhou Dongwang had just settled down when Lu Qinghu brought his son, Lu Yuan, over. Although Lu Yuan's leg had been reattached, he needed crutches to walk. As the saying goes, it takes 100 days to injure a tendon and break a bone. Lu Yuan's leg had been cut off by himself. Even though Ah Fu later felt compassionate and found an inferior-level apothecary to reattach it, he could only use it to walk and could no longer use his strength. No need. Just as the pale-faced Lu Yuan was about to kneel under Lu Qinghu's scolding, Zhou Dongwang stopped him. Your leg has not healed yet. If you continue to kneel, even I will find it difficult to heal it. Fully recovered. Zhou Dongwang's words were like a bolt from the blue, causing Lu Yuan's dull eyes to light up in an instant. He could not help but ask, Young Master Dongwang, you can heal my leg? After returning, he had found an intermediate-level apothecary to examine his leg, but the apothecary could only guarantee that he would be able to walk like a normal person and could no longer use his strength. And for a martial adept, if one leg could not be used, it was no different from being crippled. Young Master Dongwang. Lu Qinghu was also excited. His son's leg could be healed? Not just your leg, but even your father's arm can be healed. Zhou Dongwang said calmly. The last 2 times he had seen Lu Qinghu's severed arm was still in a cast, but now the cast had been removed. But now Lu Qinghu's right arm, which had been reattached after being cut off, was slightly stiff even when walking. At most, it could only be used in daily life and could no longer be used for strength. To a martial adept, such an arm was dispensable. Young Master Dongwang. Lu Qinghu bowed and pleaded with Zhou Dongwang. If you can heal my son's leg, my life is yours. He only had one son, Lu Yuan, and he would be willing to exchange his life for his son's. Zhou Dongwang ignored Lu Qinghu, his gaze falling on Lu Yuan. Your leg and your father's arm, I will only heal one. Now I'll give you a choice. Zhou Dongwang looked at Lu Yuan with interest. Young Master Dongwang. Hearing Zhou Dongwang's words, Lu Qinghu panicked. Just heal my son's leg. As for my arm, I offended young Master Dongwang first, and I brought this upon myself. I don't need young Master Dongwang's help to heal me. Father, you don't have to say any more. Lu Yuan smiled sadly. If I had not offended young Master Dongwang first, you would not have come into conflict with young Master Dongwang. I'm the one who brought this upon myself. Please, young Master Dongwang, heal my father's arm, and leave my leg like this. Lu Yuan stared at Zhou Dongwang, his gaze so determined that no one could doubt his determination. At least you have some filial piety. Zhou Dongwang looked deeply at Lu Yuan, then stood up from the stone bench in front of the stone table and turned to walk towards the room. Both of you, father and son, come in together. Thank you, young Master Dongwang. Now, both Lu Qinghu and Lu Yuan realized that Zhou Dongwang intended to heal both father and son together. Instantly, both of them were so excited that they lost their composure. Yuan, when you see young Master Dongwang in the future, you must be as respectful as you are to me. Otherwise, I will personally break your leg. Lu Qinghu warned Lu Yuan before entering the room. On Earth in the age of chaos, medical standards were so high that even a severed leg or arm with a clean incision could be mostly recovered after surgery. This was not something that only Western medicine could do, but Chinese medicine could do as well. In fact, Chinese medicine could do even better. Of course, the prerequisite for Chinese medicine to do better was to cultivate qi and use it to perform acupuncture. Done. After spending the entire night, Zhou Dongwang finally finished performing acupuncture on both Lu Qinghu and his son in the wee hours of the morning. Fortunately, the wounds on both Lu Qinghu and his son's severed legs and arms were very clean, and the severed arms, legs, and wounds healed in a short period of time. Therefore, after Zhou Dongwang used qi to clear their nerves and arteries, they were completely healed. You should be thankful that the one who attacked Fu that day was not you, but that Ma Jin. Zhou Dongwang looked deeply at Lu Yuan. If it was like Ma Jin's, where he had crushed half of his calf, even he would not have been able to reverse the situation. That kind of wound could not be healed, let alone healed. Thank you, young Master Dongwang, for your kindness. Lu Qinghu and Lu Yuan kowtowed to Zhou Dongwang and thanked him before leaving, deeply afraid to disturb Zhou Dongwang's rest. Young Master, after what you did, I'm afraid the Lu father and son will be completely loyal to you. Fu said to Zhou Dongwang with a smile after Lu Qinghu and Lu Yuan had left. I hope so. Zhou Dongwang nodded slightly, and an almost imperceptible glint flashed in his eyes. If they behave themselves, I can give them a bright future, but if they pretend to agree but secretly go against me, even if I can heal their limbs today, I can still cripple them again in the future. Early the next morning, Zhou Dongwang and Lin Lan left the Lu family mansion with Fu and Granny Lian, preparing to head to the Lin family. The patriarch of the Lu family, Lu Qinghu, and his son, Lu Yuan, personally saw the four of them to the main door. Young Master Dongwang, do you really not need me to prepare a sedan or carriage for you? Lu Qinghu asked. No need. Zhou Dongwang shook his head. They had their own carriage, and it was a carriage drawn by Fergana horses, but his mother, Lin Lan, had said that she did not want to return in such a high-profile manner, so he had let her have it. Moreover, the Lu family mansion and the Lin family mansion were both in the prefecture capital and were not far from each other. Even if they walked, it would only take an hour. After an hour, Zhou Dongwang and the others arrived at the main door of the Lin family mansion. However, just as they reached the main door, they were stopped. Lin Lan. The two middle-aged men standing guard at the main door of the Lin family mansion immediately recognized Lin Lan, a collateral descendant of the Lin family. Although they were also collateral descendants of the Lin family, their martial talent was higher than Lin Lan's, so they could stay in the Lin family and not be sent to some small place to waste the rest of their lives. Lin Lan, what are you doing here? One of the middle-aged men, dressed in a long grayish-white robe, frowned at Lin Lan. The patriarch has ordered that you, Lin Lan, are not to step into the Lin family mansion unless summoned. Just as Lin Lan was at a loss and Zhou Dongwang stepped forward to speak, the other middle-aged man, dressed in a long grayish-brown robe, grinned and said, Lin Nan, we are all collateral descendants, why make things difficult for each other? As he spoke, he looked at Lin Lan and smiled. Sister Lin Lan, you must have come back to retrieve something, right? You can go in, but come out early. After saying that, he moved to the side. Lin Hua, just as Lin Nan was about to say something, Lin Hua pulled him aside and opened up a path for Zhou Dongwang and the others. Thank you, brother Lin Hua. After Lin Lan thanked Lin Hua, she excitedly led Zhou Donghuang and the others into the Lin family mansion, rushing towards her own residence. Outside the main door, Lin Nan frowned and said, "Lin Hua, if anyone finds out that we let Lin Lan in, the patriarch will blame us, and we will all have to bear the consequences." "Who said we let Lin Lan in?" Lin Hua acted as if nothing had happened and said lightly, "Have you seen Lin Lan?" "Anyway, I haven't, but there might be someone who disobeyed the patriarch's orders and sneaked into the family mansion." As he spoke, the corner of Lin Hua's mouth turned up in a sinister smile. "Lin Nan, if we are brothers, don't betray me." Lin Hua bade farewell to Lin Nan and turned to walk into the Lin family mansion. "Now, I will go report to Second Elder that someone disobeyed the patriarch's orders and sneaked into the Lin family mansion." As he walked, the sinister smile on Lin Hua's face deepened. "Stupid whore, I courted you in the past, but you ignored me when I gave you face." Chapter 47. Lin Lan's residence in the Lin family household was a small courtyard with 4 rooms. This was where she had grown up. In the past, Lin Lan, her parents, and Granny Lian had lived here. It had been a few years since Lin Lan had last returned, so the place was covered in cobwebs, and dust was kicked up with every step she took. However, with Granny Lian and Fu's help, it only took an hour for the entire courtyard to look brand new. "Miss, I thought that Lin Hua would make things difficult for you, but not only did he not make things difficult for you, he even stopped others from making things difficult for you and allowed you to enter the family household." Granny Lian said to Lin Lan in surprise. "I didn't expect that either." Lin Lan also showed a look of surprise. "Granny Lian, why did you think that Lin Hua would make things difficult for Mother?" Zhou Donghuang asked curiously. "Young master, that Lin Hua was one of Mrs. Suitors, and his pursuit of Miss could be described as pestering, until the end, when Miss rejected him in front of everyone. He stopped pestering Miss," Granny Lian said with a smile. "When I saw him just now I thought that he would hold a grudge because Miss embarrassed him in front of everyone and make things difficult for Mississippi. Now it seems that I was the one who judged a gentleman with my own yardstick." Granny Lian said. "There was such a thing?" Zhou Donghuang looked at Lin Lan. It seemed that his mother had been very charming back then, or she would not have been pestered like that. How many years ago was that? If he still holds a grudge, then he really is a little petty. Lin Lan shook her head and smiled. "Moreover, I rejected him in front of everyone because I was afraid of being pestered by him, so I decided to use that method to cut the Gordian knot. I did not mean to embarrass him." Just as Zhou Donghuang and the other 2 were chatting happily, Fu, who was repairing the broken gate of the small courtyard, called out, "Young master, madam, someone is coming. One of them is the person who let us in at the main gate." Fu said. In a moment, an old man in a gray robe appeared in front of Zhou Donghuang and the others, escorted by a middle-aged man. "Lin Lan greets Second Elder." "Greetings, Second Elder." Lin Lan and Granny Lian both bowed respectfully to the old man, and after bowing, Lin Lan glanced at the indifferent Zhou Donghuang and reminded him, "Donghuang." "Second Elder." At Lin Lan's reminder, Zhou Donghuang looked at the old man and nodded casually. The old man frowned and looked at Zhou Donghuang with some dissatisfaction. Then, his gaze fell on Lin Lan and he said in a low voice, "Lin Lan, the chief has ordered that you are not to step into the house unless summoned by the family. By returning so abruptly, are you disrespecting the chief, or are you disrespecting the rules of the Lin family?" "Second Elder." Lin Lan replied respectfully, "I, Lin Lan, would never dare to disrespect the patriarch, nor would I dare to disrespect the Lin family's rules. This time, the reason why I've returned is to get the patriarch to withdraw the ban against me." "Ask the patriarch to take back the ban?" The old man sneered. "Do you think the patriarch's words are a joke? To ask the patriarch to withdraw the ban, why don't you think about what you've done wrong?" "Second Elder, it was my fault for leaking the formula for the blood-staunching elixir given by the family, I admit it," Lin Lan said in a low voice. But later, when I returned to the clan, I gave them an even better formula for the blood-staunching elixir. Just because fourth elder pocketed the formula for the blood-staunching elixir and gave it to the clan in his own name, does that mean that I, Lin Lan, have to be denied? I refuse to accept this. At this point, Lin Lan's voice suddenly became louder, and the depression that she had been suppressing for more than a month seemed to be completely released at this moment. Hearing Lin Lan's words, the old man was stunned at first, and then he frowned. The formula for the blood-staunching elixir that fourth elder had given to the family was originally given by Lin Lan? Humph! Just then, the middle-aged man standing behind the old man, the Lin family disciple Lin Hua, whom Zhou Dongwang and the others had just met outside the main gate of the Lin family, suddenly snorted coldly. Lin Lan, it's fine that you brought people over the wall to return to the family like a thief, but now you dare to slander fourth elder? Lin Hua laughed coldly. Over the wall? Thief? Zhou Dongwang stared at Lin Hua. His eyes narrowed, and a cold light flashed across them. Lin Hua, what do you mean? Lin Lan's expression changed, and she glared at Lin Hua. Didn't you let us in just now? Now you're slandering us by saying that we climbed over the wall? Lin Hua, you're slandering us. Granny Lien could not stand it any longer, and she stared coldly at Lin Hua. I was just saying that you are broad-minded and do not hold a grudge against those small matters of the past. Now it seems that I have overestimated you. You let us in just to slander us? As she spoke, Granny Lien's old face contorted in anger. What nonsense are you talking about? Lin Hua's smile became even colder. Chief had already ordered that Lin Lan was not to step into the family without a summon from the family. Without a summon from the family, how could I, Lin Hua, let Lin Lan in? You have a death wish. Zhou Dongwang's expression was cold, and his eyes flashed with murderous intent. He took a step forward, ready to kill this bastard who had slandered his mother. However, he was stopped by Lin Lan. Mother. Zhou Dongwang's eyes met Lin Lan's, and he suppressed his voice as he said each word clearly. He slandered you. Dongwang, promise me in the Lin family, unless the Lin family makes the first move, you will not make a move against a member of the Lin family. The Lin family is my root. Lin Lan's eyes were pleading. She knew that her son was different now. Even the chief of the preeminent Lu family, Lu Qinghu, had to be respectful in front of her son, not daring to act rashly. But she did not want her son to use his power against the Lin family. That would only make him and the Lin family enemies, and they would drift apart. She hoped that the Lin family would accept her son. This was her home, and she wanted it to be her son's home. Zhou Dongwang was filled with rage, but when he saw the pleading look in Lin Lan's eyes, he could only suppress it. All right, I'll listen to you, mother. Zhou Dongwang took a deep breath and said in a low voice, I only hope that the Lin family can be reasonable and give you justice, otherwise, don't blame me for being rude to them. As he said this, Zhou Dongwang's cold gaze swept over Lin Hua and the second elder of the Lin family. Lin Lan, this is your adopted son? What arrogance! I want to see how a 16 or 17-year-old youth like him can be rude to me, Lin Hua. Lin Hua looked at Zhou Dongwang, his eyes full of disdain. He, Lin Hua, was a level 2 adept of qi gathering. Why would he be afraid of a 16 or 17-year-old youth? Lin Lan, do you have any proof of what you said just now? The second elder of the Lin family, Lin Chonghuan, had regained his composure and asked Lin Lan. He added, if you don't have any proof, you will be publicly slandering fourth elder, and you will be even more guilty. Yes. Lin Lan nodded decisively. Good. You can stay here for the time being. I'll go report this matter to the patriarch. When the fourth elder returns, we'll call you over to confront him. Lin Chonghuan nodded and turned to leave. Second elder, let's not talk about the formula for now. This Lin Lan brought someone in by climbing the wall, shouldn't we punish her first? Seeing that Lin Chonghuan was about to leave, Lin Hua hurriedly followed him and reminded him. If what she said is true, the chief will withdraw the ban. That way, no matter how she came in, she will not be considered trespassing in the Lin family household. Lin Chonghuan said. What she said can't be true, Lin Hua said disdainfully. Lin Hua said disdainfully. The blood-staunching elixir made by that formula is even more effective than the one made by the intermediate-level pharmacist that our Lin family worships. How could Lin Lan have that kind of formula? Fourth elder will be back in a few days. At that time, the truth will be revealed. Lin Chonghuan ignored Lin Hua and left. Lin Hua turned back to glare at Lin Lan before leaving. This second elder of the Lin family is still reasonable, Zhou Dongwang said calmly, withdrawing his cold gaze from Lin Hua. Chapter 48. Dongwang. Lin Lan looked at Zhou Dongwang gently. I know you can't bear to see me suffer, and I know you have great ability now. Even if it's black, you might be able to turn the Lin family white. But if we use force to oppress them, then what difference is there between us and fourth elder Lin Tonghong, who stole our formula and threatened us? Lin Lan asked. Although Lin Lan did not know how powerful Zhou Donghuang was now. But since even the level 4 adept Lu Qinghu, who was already the patriarch of a preeminent family, had to bow and scrape before her son, it meant that her son was already superior to a preeminent family like the Lu family to a certain extent. Even the patriarch of the Lin family could not make Lu Qinghu bow and scrape before him. Just this alone made the patriarch of the Lin family inferior to her son Zhou Donghuang. Moreover, I still believe that the Lin family will give me justice. Lin Lan smiled. Mother, we'll do as you say for now. Zhou Donghuang nodded. If the Lin family is willing to give you justice, it will be a happy ending, but if they want to protect fourth elder Lin Tonghong, don't blame me for not showing mercy. As he said this, a cold light flashed in Zhou Donghuang's eyes. I believe in the Lin family. Lin Lan smiled and then returned to her room. After Lin Lan returned to her room, Granny Lian said to Zhou Donghuang with a bitter smile, Young master, young mistress's feelings for the Lin family are different. Her parents were both Lin family members, and even though they were killed by bandits while helping the Lin family transport goods, they were still proud of being members of the Lin family until the moment they died. Because of this, young mistress values her status as a member of the Lin family more than her own life. If the Lin family is in trouble, she will not hesitate even if she has to sacrifice her own life to save them. Zhou Donghuang was deeply convinced by Granny Lian's words. In his previous life, his mother had chosen to commit suicide precisely because she had been expelled from the Lin family and stripped of her status as a member of the Lin family. I hope the Lin family doesn't disappoint my mother. That way, for my mother's sake, I can turn them into a grand family or even a tycoon family. Zhou Donghuang's eyes flashed, and he said in a low voice, But if you disappoint my mother, don't blame me for being ruthless. A grand family? Tycoon family? Granny Lian was shocked by Zhou Donghuang's words. To become a grand family, there had to be at least a level 6 adept in the family. And to become a tycoon family, there had to be at least a level 8 adept in the family. Her young master actually said that he could turn the Lin family into a grand family, a tycoon family? However, when she thought of the shock her young master had brought her over the past month, she felt relieved. Young master is only 17 years old, but he can make the patriarch of the preeminent Lu family, Lu Qinghu, bow and scrape before him. As long as he's in the Lin family, it's only a matter of time before the Lin family becomes a grand family or even a tycoon family. What Granny Lian did not know was, when Zhou Donghuang said that the Lin family would become a grand family or a tycoon family, he did not mean that he would use his own abilities to bring the Lin family to prominence, but that he would bestow favors upon the Lin family children and let them lead the Lin family to prominence. In fact, if he wanted to, it would not be difficult for the preeminent Lin family to replace the imperial court of Yunyang and become the new ruler of the country of Yunyang. In the past 2 weeks, the most talked about thing in Yunfeng Prefecture was the cheap qi-gathering elixir released by the newly promoted preeminent Lu family. As everyone knew, the qi-gathering elixir that had been widely circulated in the market could be sold for 12 taels of silver per bottle. And of these 12 liang of silver, 10 liang of silver was the cost of the herbs, and only 2 liang of silver was the profit. After deducting the complicated production costs and labor costs, there was not much profit to be made. Therefore, the qi-gathering elixirs on the market in Yunfeng Prefecture were mostly produced by the lesser families. The preeminent families did not even bother with the qi-gathering elixir business because the profit was too small. However, just half a month ago, the newly promoted preeminent Lu family had released a qi-gathering elixir that cost 10 taels of silver a bottle, and its effects were exactly the same as those on the market that cost 12 taels of silver a bottle. Immediately, the appearance of this qi-gathering elixir had a huge impact on the entire Yunfeng Prefecture market. Other people sold a bottle of qi-gathering elixir that cost 10 liang of silver just for the herbs. Who could compete with them if they sold it for 10 liang of silver a bottle? Therefore, once the Lu family's qi-gathering elixir appeared, no matter where it appeared, it could monopolize the market for the qi-gathering elixir. Is the newly crowned preeminent family, the Lu family, doing charity? Or do they not want to do the qi-gathering elixir business anymore and are clearing out their stock? At first, many people thought so, but soon they did not think so, because they realized that the qi-gathering elixir of the Lu family was not only sold to the public, but also sold to other families at a wholesale price. At a wholesale price of 7 liang of silver a bottle. This meant that no matter which family it was, as long as they obtained the rights to sell the qi-gathering elixir of the Lu family, even if they sold it for 10 liang of silver a bottle, they would still be able to make a profit of 3 liang of silver. Furthermore, they did not have to worry about the complicated production costs. Of course, the families that sold the qi-gathering elixir of the Lu family were not allowed to sell it in the capital city of Yunfeng Prefecture. The market for the qi-gathering elixir of the capital city was controlled by the Lu family. Even so, this kind of business was enough to tempt the preeminent families. The Lu family must have found a way to cut costs, otherwise, they would not be doing this. At this time, many people finally realized what was going on. In an instant, many prominent people from the lesser families outside the city entered the city, trampling through the doorway of the Lu family household. They all wanted to obtain the rights to sell the qi-gathering elixir of the Lu family. However, there were very few who managed to obtain the rights. Until now, only the lesser families that were on good terms with the Lu family, the Fang family, and the Ma family had obtained the rights. February 9, 1228 of the Ziyun era. The Lu family household. Patriarch, the patriarch of the Lin family, Lin Zhuiyue, has just sent someone with an invitation. The invitation says that he would like to hold a banquet tomorrow afternoon in the heavenly dining booth on Yunshang Restaurant, and that he would like to invite you and second master. A Lu family junior came to Lu Qinghu's courtyard and spoke respectfully to Lu Qinghu, who was playing chess with Lu Bao. Big brother, finally, the preeminent families can't sit still anymore. Lu Bao smiled. The Lin family has guilds in more than 100 small towns in Yunfeng Prefecture. If they can obtain the rights to sell our qi-gathering elixir, they can monopolize the market in those hundreds of small towns. Lu Qinghu calmly put down the chess piece in his hand and said with a smile. So, big brother, are you going? Lu Bao asked. I'm afraid the Lin family is still waiting outside for news. Other preeminent families don't matter, but this is the Lin family, after all, this is the family of young Master Donghuang's adoptive mother. As Lu Qinghu spoke, he looked at the Lu family junior who had come to report. Let the Lin family tell their patriarch that there is no need for a banquet tomorrow afternoon. I will personally pay a visit to the patriarch of the Lin family household. Yes. The Lu family junior responded and stopped. Speaking of which, young Master Dongwang has already been at the Lin family household for a few days. It's a good time to pay a visit to the Lin family and tell him about the explosive sales of the qi-gathering elixir. Thinking of that youth, Lu Qinghu's expression turned serious, and a look of sincere respect appeared in his eyes. Now, he was truly convinced of that youth's abilities. Not only was he powerful, but his methods were also astonishing. He could even heal his and his son's severed arms and legs to a state of full recovery. Chapter 49. It was noon on February 10, 1228 of the Ziyun era. In the courtyard, Zhou Dongwang and Lin Lan were having lunch, with Fu and Granny Lian standing behind them. "Young master, someone's here," Fu suddenly spoke. Hearing this, Zhou Dongwang looked out of the courtyard. A middle-aged man was walking quickly towards them. Seeing the man's face clearly, Zhou Dongwang's eyes flashed with a cold, murderous intent. The person who came was none other than Lin Hua, the collateral descendant of the Lin family who let them in a few days ago but slandered them by saying that they had climbed over the wall to get in. "Lin Lan, fourth elder, has returned. Second elder has sent me to inform you to confront fourth elder in the backyard in 2 hours. Lin Hua smiled coldly. "When the time comes, I'd like to see what evidence you can produce to prove that fourth elder embezzled your formula." With that, Lin Hua left. "Dongwang, can you really prove that you were the one who formulated the formula for the blood-staunching elixir?" Lin Lan asked Zhou Dongwang for confirmation as she was about to confront fourth elder Lin Tonghong of the Lin family. "Mother, don't worry." Zhou Dongwang smiled faintly. "I know the formula for the blood-staunching elixir that I gave you by heart. I even know what herbs to add to the base of the formula to increase its effectiveness by 10%. Besides that, I also know which herbs to remove from the formula for the blood-staunching elixir can decrease its effectiveness. Doesn't the Lin family have an intermediate-level medicine master? When the time comes, we can let him be the judge." Zhou Dongwang said confidently. Only by formulating the formula himself would one be able to completely understand the medicinal properties of the formula and know which herbs to remove and which to add. This would change the effect of the formula to a certain extent. This was common knowledge even for an inferior-level medicine master, much less an intermediate-level medicine master. At the main entrance of the Lin family household, a middle-aged man dressed in luxurious clothes of medium build, with a handsome face and a dignified air, gazed at the end of the road with a look of anticipation in his eyes, as if he was waiting for something. "Patriarch, the Lu clan's patriarch Lu Qinghu is really giving you face. Not only did he not need you to host a banquet, he even came to visit you personally." Behind the middle-aged man stood a tall and sturdy old man with white eyebrows. He smiled at the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man was the patriarch of the Lin family, Lin Zhuyu. As for the old man behind him, it was the Lin family's grand elder, Lin Tianjing. That Lu Qinghu is not a simple character. Furthermore, we are the ones who need his help this time, so we must not forget our manners. Lin Zhuyu said, "Head elder, don't treat him like the patriarch of a lesser family. He is now a level 4 adept of qi gathering, the patriarch of a preeminent family, and is on equal footing with me. Today, our Lin family must win the dealership of the Lu family's qi gathering elixir. As long as we win it, our future income will increase by at least 50%. Lin Zhuiyue's eyes were filled with anticipation. Even if the Lu family did not allow the dealership of the qi-gathering elixir to be sold in the capital city of Yunfeng Prefecture, the Lin family's channels were not limited to the hundreds of small towns with chambers of commerce. The Lin family had channels to sell the qi-gathering elixir to another inferior-level prefecture adjacent to Yunfeng Prefecture. Although it would increase the cost of labor and transportation, it would still be a considerable profit. "Don't worry, Patriarch, I know what's important." Lin Tianjing nodded. "They're here." About 15 minutes later, Lin Zhuiyue and Lin Tianjing saw 2 palanquins appear at the end of the road in the distance, heading in the direction of the Lin family mansion. Most importantly, on the curtains in front of the palanquins, there was a large Lu character embroidered on them. These were the palanquins of the former lesser family, now the preeminent Lu family. A moment later, 2 palanquins carrying 8 people stopped at the entrance of the Lin family mansion. 2 figures walked out of the palanquins. They were the patriarch of the Lu family, Lu Qinghu, and the second master of the Lu family, Lu Bao. The presence of Patriarch Lu and second master Lu brings light to our humble Lin family. This way, please. Lin Zhuiyue, the patriarch of the Lin family, welcomed the 2 brothers warmly, and the head elder of the Lin family, Lin Tianjing, led the way. Patriarch Lu, second master Lu, please. Patriarch Lin, you are too kind. Lu Qinghu nodded with a smile, and he and Lu Bao were led into the Lin family mansion by Lin Zhuiyue and Lin Zhuiyue to the drawing room. After the 4 of them had taken their seats, Lin Tianjing called out to the servant girls who were already standing at the door, and they came in to serve tea. Patriarch Lu, you personally led the Lu family from a lesser family to a preeminent family. Amazing, truly amazing, unlike us, who relied on the blessings of our ancestors. Lin Zhuiyue gave Lu Qinghu a thumbs up as he sat down, praising him profusely. Yes. Lin Tianjing agreed with a smile. In the past 100 years of history of Yunfeng Prefecture, Patriarch Lu is the only person who has attained level 4 of Qi gathering as a disciple of a lesser family and led a lesser family to become a preeminent family. Patriarch Lin and Elder Tianjing are too kind, I was just lucky. Lu Qinghu picked up his teacup and took a sip as he smiled and shook his head. He appeared humble on the surface, but he could not help but snort coldly in his heart. In the past 100 years of history of Yunfeng Prefecture, the lesser families had never produced a level 4 adept of Qi gathering for 2 reasons. Firstly, the disciples of the lesser families were indeed less talented, and secondly, the preeminent families deliberately suppressed the lesser families. Whenever a slightly stronger level 3 adept of Qi gathering appeared in a lesser family, they would all die mysteriously. They were said to have died by accident, but in fact they were assassinated by the preeminent families. It was also because he had united the Lu family, the Ma family, and the Fang family to protect each other that the preeminent families feared them and did not dare to attack the 3 families. Otherwise, he, Lu Qinghu, might have long been killed by a preeminent family like the Lin family. Patriarch Lu, you are too humble. Lin Zhuiyue smiled and prepared to get to the point. Patriarch Lu, let's not beat around the bush. I have come to find you mainly because of the Qi gathering that your Lu family has been selling so well recently. Patriarch. Before Lin Zhuiyue could finish speaking, he was interrupted by a voice from outside. It was a Lin family disciple who had rushed to the door of the drawing room, panting. Second elder asked me to tell you that 4th elder and Lin Lan are already in the back courtyard, waiting for you to arrive to begin the confrontation. Just as the Lin family disciple finished speaking, Lin Tianjing said in a low voice, Enough. Patriarch has no time to bother with such trifles now, let them confront each other another time. Yes. The Lin family disciple acknowledged and prepared to leave. Just then, Lu Qinghu spoke. Wait. The Lin family disciple stopped in his tracks. Lin family head, your Lin family's 4th elder is confronting someone in the backyard? What's going on? Lu Qinghu asked curiously as he looked at Lin Zhuiyue. He seemed to have heard the Lin family disciple mention the name Lin Lan, but he had not dared to confirm it, so he wanted to confirm it further. It is said that one should not wash one's dirty linen in public. Since Patriarch Lu has encountered it and asked, there is nothing to hide. Lin Zhuiyue sighed, then said in a low voice, Patriarch Lu must have heard that our Lin family obtained a blood-staunching elixir that is 40% more effective than the one on the market. Lu Qinghu nodded. I heard that your 4th elder, Lin Tonghong, obtained it by chance and handed it over to the Lin family. That's right, Lin Zhuiyue replied. A few days ago, a collateral descendant whom I had banned from returning to the Lin family, not only ignored my orders, but even claimed that the formula for the blood-staunching elixir, which she had originally submitted to the family, had been embezzled by fourth elder and given to the family under his own name to gain credit. What's more ridiculous is that she said she had proof that it was her blood-staunching elixir formula. So now she is in the back courtyard preparing to confront fourth elder of the Lin family. Lin Zhuiyue said. Then she is quite daring. Who is she? Do I know her? Lu Qinghu asked again. Patriarch Lu should not have heard of her. She is a collateral descendant of the Lin family sent to a small town to run a business. Her name is Lin Lan. Lin Zhuiyue shook his head. Lin Lan? Almost as soon as Lin Zhuiyue finished speaking, Lu Qinghu and Lu Bao's eyes narrowed, and they both stood up in unison, losing their composure. Patriarch Lu, Second Master Lu, what are you doing? Lin Zhuiyue and Lin Tianjing were both shocked by the sudden movements of Lu Qinghu and Lu Bao. Patriarch Lin, I know you want to talk to me about the dealership for the Qi-gathering elixir. That's easy to discuss. But I'm more curious, on what basis does that collateral descendant of the Lin family have to prove that the formula for the blood-staunching elixir belongs to her? Chapter 50. Of course. Lin Zhuiyue and Lin Tianjing's eyes lit up when they heard Lu Qinghu say that the matter of the Qi-gathering elixir was easy to discuss, and Lin Zhuiyue hurriedly agreed. To him, Lu Qinghu's request was a trivial matter. Head Elder, let's go to the backyard with Patriarch Lu and Second Master Lu, to see what evidence Lin Lan, a collateral descendant of the Lin family, can produce to prove that the formula for the blood-staunching elixir belongs to her. Lin Zhuiyue called out to Lin Tianjing as he rose from his seat. Lin Tianjing acknowledged and walked to the door of the drawing room, smiling at Lu Qinghu and Lu Bao as he turned and extended his hand. Patriarch Lu, Second Master Lu, please. The four of them left the drawing room and walked to the backyard of the Lin family mansion. When the four of them arrived at the backyard, there was already a group of people gathered there. It was as if they had formed a human wall. It was very lively. Patriarch and Head Elder are here. A sharp-eyed Lin family descendant exclaimed as his eyes lit up when he saw Lin Zhuiyue and Lin Tianjing. Immediately, the crowd of Lin family descendants parted respectfully to let Lin Zhuiyue and the others in. Inside the human wall, Zhou Donghuang and Lin Lan stood on one side, with Fu and Granny Lian behind them. On the other side stood an old man of medium build, with fierce eyes and fierce brows, looking disdainfully at Zhou Donghuang and the others. This old man was the fourth elder of the Lin family, Lin Tonghong. Patriarch, Head Elder. Seeing Lin Zhuiyue and Lin Tianjing arrive, Lin Tonghong bowed respectfully to them, and the second elder of the Lin family, Lin Chonghuan, also walked over to Lin Zhuiyue. Patriarch. Zhou Donghuang saw Lu Qinghu and Lu Bao as they followed Lin Zhuiyue and Lin Tianjing over. Seeing that Lu Qinghu and Lin Zhuiyue saw him, their eyes lit up and they seemed about to walk over to greet him, but Zhou Donghuang gave them a timely look to stop them. Immediately, both of them stopped in their tracks. Second Elder, this is the new patriarch of the preeminent Lu family. This is Second Master Lu. As Lin Chonghuan stepped forward, Lin Zhuiyue introduced Lu Qinghu and Lu Bao. Patriarch Lu, Second Master Lu. Lin Chonghuan knew that the Lin family now had a favor to ask of the Lu family, and upon hearing Lin Zhuiyue's introduction, he immediately greeted Lu Qinghu and Lu Qinghu with a warm smile. Second Elder, let's start. Lin Tianjing said to Lin Chonghuan. Patriarch Lu and Second Master Lu are very curious as to what kind of evidence a branch family descendant of our Lin family can bring out to prove that the formula for the blood-staunching elixir is hers. When we're done here, we'll return to the living room to discuss the dealership of the Lu family's Qi-gathering elixir. Lin Tianjing urged. Great Elder, I understand. As Lin Chonghuan responded, Lin Lan walked over with Zhou Donghuang in tow. Lin Lan bowed to Lin Zhuiyue and Lin Tianjing. Lin Lan pays her respects to Chief and Head Elder. Humph. Lin Zhuiyue snorted coldly. Lin Lan, do you still respect me as the patriarch? A collateral descendant actually dared to ignore his orders and return to the Lin family without permission. This was undoubtedly trampling on his dignity as the Lin family's patriarch. Today, no matter what, he would not let this collateral descendant off lightly. Lin Lan, Patriarch Lu and I already know what happened today. If you can really produce evidence to prove that the formula is yours, we will let it go. Lin Tianjing looked at Lin Lan. He paused for a moment and then his eyes flashed. But if you can't prove that the formula is yours, then you are slandering Fourth Elder, and you will be even more guilty. At that time, you can leave your life here. Lin Tianjing's voice was extremely cold. Very well. Lin Lan nodded solemnly. Standing behind Lin Lan, Zhou Donghuang could clearly feel the enmity that Lin Zhuiyue and Lin Tianjing had for his mother. Instantly, the corner of his mouth turned up in a cold smile. Lin Lan, show me your evidence. Lin Chonghuan looked at Lin Lan. As long as you can produce conclusive evidence to prove that Fourth Elder stole the formula from you, the family will give you justice. Yes, Second Elder. Lin Lan acknowledged and called out to Zhou Donghuang. Donghuang. Zhou Donghuang took a step forward and looked at Lin Zhuiyue, the patriarch of the Lin family. Patriarch Lin, I heard that the Lin family has an intermediate-level medicine master? Let him come over and be a witness. Who are you? Lin Zhuiyue frowned at Zhou Donghuang and asked in a low voice, What does Lin Lan's matter have to do with you? Lin Lan is my mother. She was about to hand over the formula for the blood-staunching elixir to the Lin family, but it was stolen by Fourth Elder Lin Tonghong. The blood-staunching elixir was personally formulated by me. Patriarch Lin, do you think that this matter has nothing to do with me? Zhou Donghuang's gaze swept over Lin Zhuiyue as he asked. That blood-staunching elixir was formulated by you personally? Upon hearing Zhou Donghuang's words, not only Lin Zhuiyue, but Lin Tianjing, Lin Chonghuan, and most of the people around them were also stunned. In the next moment, their gazes fell on Zhou Donghuang once more, but this time they were filled with mockery. This youth says that the blood-staunching elixir that is even better than the one formulated by our intermediate-level medicine master, Huang Yaoshi, was formulated by him personally? Does he think we are fools? At his age, it would already be impressive if he could become an inferior-level medicine master. To formulate such a grade of blood-staunching elixir is a fool's dream. This is the so-called evidence that Lin Lan spoke of? The group of Lin family juniors shook their heads. No one believed that the youth in white before them was speaking the truth. Now, of everyone present besides Lin Lan, Fu, and Granny Lian, only Lu Qinghu and Lu Bao believed Zhou Donghuang's words. The qi-gathering elixir that the Lu family had been selling like hotcakes throughout Yunfeng Prefecture had been formulated by the youth before them. If he could even produce the formula for that grade of qi-gathering elixir, it was not surprising that he could produce the formula for the blood-staunching elixir. However, recalling the look that Zhou Donghuang had given them, even if they wanted to speak up for Zhou Donghuang and defend him, they could only hold it in. Besides, they knew in their hearts that with young Master Donghuang's ability, he would definitely be able to solve this problem himself. Ha 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 ha! Lin Tonghong could not help but burst into laughter. After a while, he looked at Zhou Donghuang again. His gaze was full of disdain and disdain. Kid, how dare you say that you personally formulated the blood-staunching elixir? Do you think we are fools? Lin Tonghong laughed coldly. What? Your Lin family thinks that I cannot formulate that blood-staunching elixir just because I am young? Call the intermediate-level medicine master of the Lin family, and the truth will be revealed. Zhou Donghuang ignored Lin Tonghong and looked directly at Lin Zhuiyue, the patriarch of the Lin family. Now, Lin Zhuiyue looked at Zhou Donghuang with the same disbelief and indifference. There is no need for that, Lin Zhuiyue said indifferently. Lin Zhuiyue said indifferently, because whether or not we invite Medicine Master Huang, the result will be the same. That blood-staunching elixir cannot possibly have been formulated by an inexperienced kid like you. Medicine Master Huang was the intermediate-level medicine master of the Lin family. His surname was Huang, and he was known as Medicine Master Huang. Lin Lan, do you have any other evidence? Don't bring out this kind of evidence to embarrass yourself. Lin Zhuiyue looked at Lin Lan again and asked impatiently. Patriarch, the qi-gathering elixir recorded in the formula was indeed formulated by my son, Zhou Donghuang. Lin Lan said seriously to Lin Zhuiyue, whether it is true or not, we will know for sure when we invite Medicine Master Huang. Patriarch Lin feels that there is no need to invite that intermediate-level medicine master. Could it be that you wish to shield your fourth elder, Lin Tonghong? Zhou Donghuang stared at Lin Zhuiyue, his tone icy. Just as Lin Zhuiyue was about to explode at Zhou Donghuang's rudeness, Lu Qinghu spoke. Patriarch Lin, please invite that intermediate-level medicine master of the Lin family. I would like to see how this youth will prove to an intermediate-level medicine master that he formulated the blood-staunching elixir himself. Lu Qinghu suggested. That's right, Patriarch Lin. Lu Bao agreed. If you are unwilling to invite that intermediate-level medicine master, people will indeed think that you are shielding your fourth elder. Hearing both Lu Qinghu and Lu Bao agree, Lin Zhuiyue looked at Lin Chonghuan. Second elder, please invite Medicine Master Huang. Yes, Patriarch. Lin Chonghuan acknowledged and left. Lad, I would like to see when Medicine Master Huang arrives, how you will prove that you formulated the blood-staunching elixir. Lin Tonghong looked at Zhou Donghuang, his eyes flashing with murderous intent as he spoke with a cold smile. He turned to Lin Zhuiyue, bowed, and said, Patriarch, there is something that I have not told you. When I first obtained the formula, Lin Lan came to plead for leniency because she had leaked the formula. At that time, Lin Lan was waiting for me in my courtyard, and my formula was placed on the stone table in the courtyard. When I came out, she was reading the formula. Lin Tonghong continued, so, as long as she has a good memory, she should also remember the herbs and the proportions of the various herbs recorded in the formula. You're spouting nonsense. Lin Lan's expression changed. She was so angry that her entire body was trembling, and her eyes were burning with rage. Back then, when I gave you the formula, you clearly said that you would help me pass it to the Patriarch. I didn't expect that not only did you keep it for yourself, you even slandered me. So Lin Lan has seen the formula. Hearing Lin Tonghong's words, the crowd of Lin family juniors suddenly understood. She must have remembered the contents of the formula, and that is why she dared to say that fourth elder kept the formula for himself. What a joke! She is clearly a thief, but she accuses fourth elder of being a thief. What status does fourth elder have, and what status does Lin Lan have? Would fourth elder keep the formula for himself?